Star Wars Jedi Survivor has some new leaks. One has to do with the release date. Another could be a hint and a clue about some gameplay. We've already speculated a little bit when the Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer first came out. We combed over it, we broke it down. Everybody's sort of waiting for two things: Star Wars Jedi Survivor gameplay, as well as some Star Wars Jedi Survivor release date news, and we might have some things pointing to that. I'm going to put all the information right here at the beginning so you don't have to go looking for it, and then we discuss it for a while. That's why the video is so long. This is a past broadcast of a live stream. This is a Reforge update. The Star Wars Jedi Survivor leaks are coming, and some of them are pointing to possible release dates within the store, as well as maybe some gameplay mechanics based on some things that came out of Comic-Con. If you like these quick videos, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button, and always check out Reforge Gaming, where I stream live. So first, let's just talk about gameplay, because when this trailer that's looping next to me first came out, many people were speculating about gameplay. They were saying, hey, it looks like he might have, a blaster. It looks like there might be, some betrayal. Who's in the back the tank, right? Well, according to GameRant.com, there were Star Wars Jedi Survivor figures spotted at San Diego Comic-Con, and they may reveal interesting details about Cal Kestis in the sequel. First and foremost, apparently Cal now has a beard, which is really exciting for me. Not really, but, he's getting older, maybe a little bit more grizzled. If you look closely, it can be seen that he has a beard. But more importantly than the beard, okay, for some people the beard might be really important. Apparently, he has a blaster on his hip. Now, this is a hat tip to those who saw the blaster in the reveal trailer. I didn't see it. I missed it. I had people pointing that out to me and saying, hey, he's got a blaster. I wonder if they're going to let us use it in the game. Now, this might actually be a good change. If you remember Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order gameplay, there was lots of these range fights, and it just sort of devolved into deflecting back and, not doing much. And if Cal then has the ability to return fire or just to take out different things at different ranges, it might enable the developers to do a little bit more with gameplay with ranged fights, because they did get a little long in the tooth because you just kind of went through the same motions. You also had the guys with the rockets, and sometimes it got a little bit hard to time, the knockback. So I could see them saying, hey, let's dramatically change the way that range combat takes place. Let's give him a blaster. I don't know if that means that they would have this thing like sliced up in, melee fights where you're getting in fights and suddenly you pull out your blaster, as they did in like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, where you sort of had melee and gun-based combat combined. We'll have to wait and see. Not only do we see Cal with a beard and a blaster, BD is apparently returning. Not surprising, BD1. There was a figure of BD1, as well as some new droids. There was a B1 battle droid, if you're familiar with the Roger battle droids from Episode 1 and beyond. They are potentially going to be in the game. I've never been a huge fan of them. I don't find them particularly threatening. You just sort of slice them down in great numbers. So we'll see exactly how they are going to be implemented. There's also a KX security droid. Now, as far as the release date rumors, according to GameRant.com, a PlayStation Store listing potentially narrows down the release date for the upcoming Star Wars Jedi Survivor game. When it was first listed in the PlayStation Store, the page gave some basic information about the game, explaining how the story takes place 5 years after the events of the previous title and sees Cal Kestis still on the run from the Empire. The listing as it currently exists does not have much in the way of big revelations, but there was a specific release date window. According to comicbook.com, Star Wars Jedi Survivor's PlayStation Store listing originally claimed the game would be coming March of 2023. It now just says 2023. So it is possible this was simply an error or an indication of when you can expect the game. My imagination here would be, if it was an error, I don't know why they wouldn't just say, hey, that was a mistake, release date's coming soon. Maybe they don't want to say anything about it. I do think there's a possibility that this is the release window. Shorter marketing schedules are a thing now. They announce the game, show you a little bit, and then like 6, 8, or 9 months later, the game's coming out. So this feels like a new norm. This could possibly be when the game launches. We'll obviously have to wait and see what's going on. Some companies are going to sort of be quiet on the runway to the holidays because they don't want to get sort of overshadowed by some of the other releases and launches coming in fourth quarter. We also are going to talk about Hogwarts because I'm kind of worried. I'm not sure that game's coming out in December. There's a lot of games getting shoved out of 2022. As always, check out Reforge Gaming where I stream live. Hit subscribe and the bell button here, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'll see the rest of you guys right now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Happy Monday to you. Rocking a Black Panther shirt. And don't forget about all the other ways to support the channel. If you are regularly watching these VODs and you like my channel and you like what we do, consider becoming a member. Apparently, the member join button is coming to iOS very soon. I got an email about that this morning, so that's encouraging more ways for people to jump in support. Don't forget about the coffee, Reforge Roast. We've updated the entire web presence and the branding, so check out reforgeroast.com or the link below. Those are all the great ways to support the content. The free ways to support the content are to be here, be in the chat, be talking, be saying good morning and commentating on what we're doing. Lurkers, I get that you don't do that, but you can always say a little quick good morning and then smack that like button. Give us that quick start. Make sure you are on live chat. Let's see, hint at gunplay in the sequel. Yeah, we covered that. Creature might have come in a tad bit on the back end there. The front end of my update in video covered the fact that the figures are pointing towards gunplay. The fact that he's got a blaster. Now, again, that's a hat tip to people. When we first watched the Jedi Fallen Order 2, I guess you could call it, you could call it that. When we first looked at that trailer, some people were very, very quick to point out, hey, it looks like he has a blaster. Well, not only does he have a blaster with this new figurine, it's not just on his hip. He can hold the blaster. The figure can actually hold it. So that's actually pretty important. That detail actually was missing from the article that I read. It's not just on his hip. He can take it out of the holster and he can hold it. I think that's a pretty strong indication we will be able to use that blaster in the game, unless they're just going for like, oh, everybody should have a blaster in Star Wars, which I don't necessarily think is something you would do with a Jedi character. Jedis using blasters it's not something that's never happened, but it's certainly not something that I would consider to be pretty normal. 9 months from Perfect Paradox. Thank you so much for hitting that milestone. Welcome back in. It's uncivilized, right? Yeah. Let's see here. Is Feed here? I want to make sure and say good morning to Feed. Good morning, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. Didn't EA say fourth quarter 2022? Maybe that's what March timeframe was in there. Hope that the change doesn't mean the game got delayed. Suede hitting a 5-month milestone. Welcome back in, Suede. Been some rumors that it's Star Killer in the tank. Yeah, people just ordered some coffee. I'll be the first. First coffee order of the day and tons of member renewals. A 17-month milestone for Abe, and it's a tier 3. Thank you so much for that support. Fling to the finish is apparently... they're doing a tournament. There it is. There's the Reforge Roast order. And it is from, you guys aren't putting your usernames in anymore, apparently, which is totally fine. Just make sure and tell me, thank you, Toasty, because if not, I would have said your first name. I don't have any other way to indicate who ordered it. So thank you so much, Toasty, for getting that first order of coffee. It was a bag of light roast, man. You guys have been buying up the light roast. Good to see that. Zubair's not happy about that, but good to see that. Good morning, Feed. Good to see you in the chat. There's nothing like a good blaster by your side, kid, right? I don't know if they would want to bring Star Killer back in. I mean, I could see that, but I don't know. That would be so out of the left field to bring him in. Who do you guys think is in the back to tank? Real talk, if you were a Jedi in hiding and undercover, you could use the Force and use a blaster and not miss. I mean, come on. It would be a much better way to, not draw attention to yourself, to be like, well, if I have to defend myself, I'll use a blaster. That won't really draw a lot of attention. I mean, everybody's got a blaster. What's good, Brendan? Starkiller, please, Unleashed is so underrated in the Star Wars universe, but us normies love him. I thought the first... Star Wars Force Unleashed was phenomenal. I thought it was amazing. I've always said that when he turns up, When Darth shows up and is like, oh, I was looking for you, but you've got somebody stronger than you hiding here, and it's the dadgum kid, I thought that was awesome. That was such a cool reveal. Looking forward to Fallen Order so much. Seems like the only story not on Tatooine anymore. Oh, if you not played Jedi Fallen Order, it's really, really good Star Wars, right? Exactly, looking right at you, Obi-Wan Kenobi TV BS, right? Real talk, if you were, oh, right, I get what you're saying. Right. Like, pulling out a blaster isn't going to draw attention. Like, oh, our guy had a blaster. Can you believe it? Like, look at Mos Eisley in The New Hope. Like, everybody has a dadgum blaster. What in the world? If that's Starkiller, I hope they explain how he lost his arm and all those lines on his arm. Looks like electric shock. Who's the guy with all the lines on his arm that people said that's who they thought it was? If you guys are just tuning in, there were some Star Wars Jedi Survivor leaks that came out. We broke it down at the beginning. The release date, we might know what that is. We might have some gameplay mechanics, things going on with the blaster. And then there's everybody. Everybody wants to know who's in the back of the tank. I think that's the big question mark for everybody. But if you've not played Fallen Order, I think it's fantastic Star Wars. It's such good storytelling. It's the gritty Western old Star Wars that's so important, right? Now, obviously, it's not a Western because you're running around with your lightsaber, but it's got that gritty Star Wars feel. It feels like a good Star Wars game, and a lot of people. Basically, this game coming out is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2. For many people, the name change is a little strange. Quarry Light game currently on the PS Plus games. Okay, thank you, Eugene. Well, this Friday's community game night, so make sure your memberships are active. Make sure if you've been wanting to jump in or you've not done it yet, make sure you jump in. Make sure you got Fall Guys installed and updated, and make sure you're here this Friday night. It's going to be a blast. Yo, good morning, Jake. How are you? You never finished it, says MJ. You never finished Fallen Order? It was so good. 11-month milestone from Google Beats. Did you enjoy the gameplay in the first one? So Jedi Fallen Order gameplay is what made me want to get into Sekiro. Now, I ultimately at that time didn't finish Sekiro. I came back to Sekiro years later after we had beat Dark Souls 3 and we were looking for something else to play while we waited for Elden Ring. I enjoyed how every fight mattered. Even the most basic enemy on like a cliffside could just like absolutely rock your world. And I enjoyed that. I really, really liked it. I actually played Jedi Fallen Order once, and then I went back through and I upped the difficulty. So that was something I had never done before. If you're familiar with my content, if you're familiar with me as a gamer, I don't really do that. And that was sort of the catalyst to me saying, like, I kind of want to play a game that's harder on, like, that feels like that. The only thing that frustrated me with the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order with the gameplay, it was some of the fights, man. I felt like they did some cheesy stuff, First and foremost, I thought the bat fight was epic until it turned into 18 quick time events in a row. I thought that was really disappointing. I thought when you were fighting the bat in the cave, it was excellent. It's like the only... Correct me if I'm wrong, isn't the bat fight like the only big boss fight in the game where the boss is enormous? Like the AT-AT's okay, but like an actual big monster fight, right? Because you don't fight any other big monsters. There's no Sarlacc, there's no Rancor. You fight this big bat, right? And but you don't get to finish the fight in the cave. Going toe-to-toe with the big monster in Star Wars is cool. The bat fight was a fun fight until you had to climb out of the cave and it was like a quick time event. It wasn't good. That's the only one. Yeah, that's the bummer of it. It's like, why wouldn't you have let us just finish the fight down there? Like, it was really enjoyable. Funny you said that. Two of my friends wanted to try FromSoft games after Fallen Order. Yeah, I think Jedi Fallen Order was a catalyst for a lot of people because you get that sense of, I wouldn't mind playing a game with like parries and blocks and stuff because, the Monday combat was tough, man. Happy Monday, Shells. That's right. Yeah, well, welcome. We'll call everybody Shells. That's perfect. That's what we'll start calling our members in our community, the Shells. For me, that fight was really disappointing, and the other fight that I was a little disappointed with is you finally get to face Trilla, right? You finally get to face Trilla, and because I actually think she steals the show. I think she's the strongest character in Jedi Fallen Order. I really do. I think she's the strongest character, and I found her fight to have some cheesy, annoying things in it. I think that it should have just been you and her, like saber, and force, nothing else. The thing that appears above her and shoots like blasters at you or whatever, I don't know. Like, I enjoyed fighting her when it was just me and her. You started adding all those other things, and I was like, that doesn't feel like I'm fighting her. It feels like I'm fighting the room and her. I don't know. Those are the only two things that stood out in my memory as being kind of disappointing. The bat fight could have been much better, and then the Trilla fight, I felt like they put like some cheap stuff in it. I don't know. I was a little bit more critical back then. I hadn't played Sekiro, I hadn't played Dark Souls, I hadn't played Elden Ring. The meditation thing teaches you it's not that big of a deal if enemies reset after resting. That limited heals is a good mechanic, and the melee is satisfying. It's an easy leap from games. Right. Yeah, that's true, Eugene. I think a lot of people look at FromSoft games are like, bro, all the enemies come back, what? And if I die, I gotta go back. And then like you play Jedi Fallen Order and you're like, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought it would be, right? I love Fallen Order so much. I've 100%ed it 5 times, twice on Grandmaster now, and looking forward to playing through again before the second one comes out. Spartan of Doom, do you think there's any merit to what I'm saying about the Trilla fight, right? Does the Trilla fight feel cheap? Does it? Because, like, the bat fight, I can get over. Like, that's more of a preference thing. It's like, man, I wish you would have just let us fight the bat all the way to death down in the cave. The quick time event thing was annoying. But I feel like the Trilla fight has some stuff in it that just feels cheap. Ready? You know what I'm saying? Who do you think the villain is in Jedi Fallen Survivor? Probably the Grand Inquisitor or an Inquisitor. Immortal Turtle with 8 months of membership. That's a milestone. Thank you so much. I'm going to need your show more than ever this week. My team quit, so I'm flying solo until they hire new folks. Easy day, though. Hey, man. I'll get you through that. Chat, do me a favor. Let's keep the momentum going. It's Monday, so we need your support. Smash that like button. Get us 200 likes super duper fast. That will definitely help us out. Make sure and always say good morning in the chat. If you're a lurker and you just get here, come in and do that ritual. Switch to live chat, say good morning, and smack that like button. Souls games have a reputation, says Quiet Shy. Playing Fallen Order enabled people to experience the mechanics without the reputation of the game hanging over them. That's a really, really good point, yes. It was like, it's a Star Wars game. The other thing is the difficulty settings. If it got a little too spicy for them, they could back the difficulty down. You know what I'm saying? Star Wars games get really bonkers traditionally. Dark Forces, Jedi Knight, Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, then Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. Yeah, I mean, why didn't they just call it Jedi Knight, the Jedi Knight of all the Jedi Knights? Like, just say Jedi as many times as you can in the dadgum title. Jiminy freaking Christmas. If she didn't have that extra stuff, you would have beat her too easy once you get the mechanics down. Once the skill tree is filled and you know the mechanics and how to chain them together, you really are a problem. I like that, though. It should feel that way. I think that's good power fantasy. You're reconnecting and recommuning with the Force, and you become pretty stellar, and then they rug pull you at the very end. It's like, oh, you think you're really strong? Yeah? you think you're doing all right? You think you can take on a big bad? Okay, here's the big bad, right? When he shows up, I'm telling you, that's one of the greatest moments that's one of the greatest moments in just Star Wars storytelling. So many things converge on that moment. Jedi Fallen Order, I think, has one of the best moments. I truly do. In recent Star Wars history, not that it's competing with much, a lot of crap out there, but I'm telling you, that's one of the greatest moments because so much converges on that moment. It's so excellent. It's just fantastically done. Not to bring the mood down, But I could also use a distraction next couple of weeks going through a rough life event of losing a family member. Hope you have an awesome week. Murph, that sucks, man, and it's okay to say that it sucks. It's okay to be sad. And if you need a place to plant your feet or just, have something in the background, I'm glad you're here, dude. I think Fallen Order's combat was a good transitional combat systems to Souls-likes. You had to be deliberate with attacks and parries instead of just button mashing your way through. Right. This guy says, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Wikus. Will you do a Marvel Avengers gameplay? No. Also, new Star Wars timeline makes perfect sense. Yeah, I have no interest in Marvel Avengers, man. That game, bless anybody who's still playing it, but I don't have any interest in it. You know what I'm saying? That's where I am right now as this creature. I just keep letting him kill me so I can rewatch the cutscene. That moment was so amazing. It's everything. It has everything you need. It has everything you need. It has the build-up. It has a wonderful character arc. It has the last-minute redemption of a character just in the final moments. I swear to frick, they need to bring her back, dude. They need to bring her back. That's who I want there to be in the back-to-tank. I'm pretty sure it's a dude in the back-to-tank. But, put Trilla in the back-to-tank, man. Sew her back together. I want to play as her. Can I play a prequel as Trilla? Just running around killing Jedi? I want to do it. She's so freaking good. The Surge 2 had better Souls combat than Jedi Fallen Order. It wouldn't surprise me if that was true, David, because Jedi Fallen Order wasn't trying to be a Souls game. It was definitely... There was whispers of Souls combat, but it wasn't a Souls game. The more I sit here and think, Fallen Order is Sekiro in almost every way, except for the difficulty curve. It's really good. Yeah, it really is. I think it's a fantastic game. I really, really hope they turn the dial up in the next game. I do. I've got my From Software chops now. I've played those games. I've done the things. I've killed Ishin or Ishin or whatever his name is. I call him Ishin. I've killed Ishin. I've done my work. Listen, if you're new this morning and you've never been here before, be sure to click subscribe. Be sure to click the bell button. That way you don't miss the content. We do a live stream every day of the week. We do multiple live streams actually every day. I am a safe for work broadcaster, so a lot of people throw me on in the background. And we appreciate you guys tuning in so much. Let's see here. Halo Infinite news is not always good news. I forgot to push this one out. This was the one I was going to run today. Halo, and then we'll do Halo Infinite. If you guys ever see, we don't hit your feed with shorts, but if you like watching shorts on YouTube, you might see my shorts down there in that feed on that shelf, but I do not push them to your sub feed, right? Some of you guys are like, "Oh my gosh, freaking shorts! I hate shorts." I get it. A lot of people don't like them. They seem to be doing very, very well on the platform, though. I'm seeing some of the bigger guys get some just stellar viewership on their shorts. So if you ever see them and you feel like watching it and giving it a like and a comment, I appreciate that very much. Primarily, we're a live stream, though. That's what we do. We yank out funny moments and upload them as shorts, but we don't hit it in your sub feed. You won't get notified or anything. You have the resting mechanics, the Metroidvania, the skill tree setup. Instead of shinobi tools, you get lightsaber upgrades, the deliberate combat, etc. I should only see my shorts on my shelves. What are you doing in my bedroom? Listen, Zelda Heart, sometimes you just got to let people see the goods, That's just what you got to do. And I'm willing to do what's necessary to be successful. It would be wise to surrender. Oh, man. Let's see here. The Avengers game is garbage. Yeah. Good morning since Lono's magging me. Hey, listen, when you guys come in and say good morning and smash that like button, man, it makes me feel good. It makes YouTube feel good about the video. So do it. Go through the rituals. Who is the name of the guy that we thought was in the back-to-tank with the stuff all over his arms? I want to do a poll about the back-to-tank. I'm going to put some funny answers in there. It's either that guy, Trilla, Baby Yoda or Mace Windu. Like, those are the 4 people. It's either Star Killer, the guy with all the stuff on his arms, and Mace Windu or Baby Yoda. Like, those are your 4 possibilities being in the Bacta-Tank. Doing what's necessary, OnlyFans when? Well, you only do OnlyFans or, like, Fan House when you can't actually make it as a streamer. I'm just kidding. That's not true. It's true of some people, though, so I'm taking a dig because it's easy. Hello, Lono. Hope you and the fam are good today. Chayat! Yo, what's good, Hellfire? I think Jedi Fallen Order is a good bridge to Souls likes because it makes you figure out some of the mechanics without the intense difficulty. Don't even joke, I would do some things to get a Mace Windu game. It was super fun playing as him back on PlayStation 1 in Star Wars Jedi Power Battles. They released too closely to say Fallen Order copied, but I definitely see Respawn thinking that if we took from that formula and made a less punishing 3D action adventure instead of an RPG. Right. Did I have a good weekend? I did have a good weekend. I did. Me and the kiddos played some Fall Guys on Saturday. They get to play video games once a week, so we played some Fall Guys. And it does actually seem to help in the skill-based matchmaking if you let the weakest player be host. That actually seemed to help us. My son and I were having a much better experience. So try that out if you're having that issue with the skill-based matchmaking in Fall Guys. Let the weakest player host. It actually seems to help. I know for a fact it helps when you go into solos, but it seemed to be helping in duos and squads as well. Yeah, if you like Metroidvanias and you like Souls games and you haven't tried out Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, you need to play it. Because Jedi Survivor is essentially Jedi Fallen Order 2. Like, that's what it is. The naming is... I don't think the naming is very good, but what are you going to do? It's obviously Qui-Gon. Who was that guy? Kyle Katarn? No, who was the guy? It's clearly Big Bird, Dash Rendar. Last time we talked about this, people found a picture of a guy who had, like, all these weird lines on his arms. And I was like, that looks like the lines on the arms of the person, whoever's in the Bacta-Tank, right? And the Bacta-Tank is clearly a guy. It's not a girl, because I was hoping that it was Trilla, but it's clearly not Trilla. No way that's Dash. Speaking of Jedi Survivor, I just started playing Fallen Order again. Forgot how good it was. It is Black Cat's dad. I have spoken. It's Darth Jar Jar. Get out. Get out. Leave. No, we don't speak that evil here. You get the frick out. You can take the day off. Go. We don't speak that evil here, bro. Don't you start that. Don't you start that bull in my chat. Frickin' Cujo. Oh my gosh. I absolutely hate that. I hate that. I hate that more than toxic Star Wars fans. And toxic Star Wars fans are pretty freaking bad. They're pretty dadgum awful. But the people who seriously try to drive that narrative, I actually hate you. I don't hate a lot of people, but I hate you. I genuinely hate you. I hate it. I hate it because there's people that push it forward because they think it's funny as a meme, and then there's people that are like genuinely arguing for it. And I can't tell the difference between either because it's so stupid. Darth Roast when I open the stream to I hate you. Well, I can't do it, man. Can't do it. Yeah, the memes. Listen, the memes that came from it were arguably really, really funny. Like, I'll give full credit. Like, that animated GIF is spectacular. But I'm telling you, man, I can't do it. I can't. I hate the people that do it. They push that crap forward. I want to smack them in the mouth. It's probably Watto. Hey, little Annie. I'm a Darth Sith Lord. What the frick, man? I'll come back for you. You're now mine. He like wants him to come work for him. It's pronounced GIF. Yeah, I know it's pronounced GIF. That's what I said. Lono would sooner forgive the people who canceled him before he would ever show kindness to the Darth Jar Jar people. That's right. I would be faster. I would be faster to forgive the people who attempted to ruin my life faster than I would forgive a Darth Jar Jar apologist. I would, because frick those people. If you're just tuning in, we are talking Star Wars Jedi Survivor leaks. There was a leak. They quickly corrected this, but there was a Star Wars Jedi Survivor release date leak in the Sony store. Sony store just absolutely killing it lately with bumbling their entire platform with accidental release dates, changes, and updates. It's just an absolute tragedy over there. Constantly shifting things around and moving things around and getting people excited, having oops-a-daisies with The Last of Us Part 1 remake and spoiling that announcement, and updating God of War Ragnarok and getting everybody excited. And now we have a new one, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2, or also what is an inferior title. Star Wars Jedi Survivor release date was put in there for March of next year, and it got removed. They just yanked it out. It was like, oh yeah, we're not doing that again. Or we're not doing that or whatever. So they haven't spoken to it. That'd be a really, really short marketing window. But I actually think more and more people are going to be doing that. They're going to be doing those short marketing windows. None of these things would be any stupider than Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi. No. Listen, Derek. Book of Boba Fett had some serious cheese in it, but it was still a pretty decent sandwich, okay? Had a little too much cheese in it, but it was still a decent sandwich. Obi-Wan is utter garbage, okay? It's actual garbage. And Darth Jar Jar is literally a piece of dog crap. It's a piece of dog crap, okay? I would rewatch Obi-Wan and rage out at all the things that frustrate me. I would rewatch that 10 times before I would ever want to see anything with Darth Jar Jar get anywhere. I would seriously, I would be tempted to commit violence against somebody for bringing Darth Jar Jar into existence. Like if it actually happened, it'd be tempting. I think the only thing that would hold me back is that I have a family. It's like if I was a single man, I think that'd be it. That my part of my brain would just break. I would just like twitch, and it'd be like, he's gone. He went somewhere else. Some other guy came out. It was awful. It was terrible. They had to lock him up. Yo, it's good, JoJo. Did you see the guy that made Kenobi into it? Yeah, I've heard about that. Apparently it's pretty good. Taron Malicos. It's not Malicos. There's no way that Malicos is in... You think Malicos is in the bacta tank? Why would we go and help him or use him or find him? What would Malicos be coming back? I like him. He sounds like somebody right out of... Is he the guy from is the voice actor for Malicos the guy that was in love with Khaleesi and then like he got thrown out or whatever? He was a pretty handsome man with a beard. Is that who voices Malicos? In any case, Malicos reminds me of somebody right out of Skyrim. You know, hey, you awake? In any case, he's a great character, but why would they bring him back? You shall henceforth be known as Darth Lono. That's right. The Ultimate Friend Zone guy? No. Yo, D-Tom kicking the day off with a 5 gifted member batch. Corey, Incredible BLK, Troy Dodson, Atlas, and Hawk. All 5 of you grabbed memberships really quickly. Make sure if you just snagged a membership or you became one recently, get in the Discord. This Friday is community game night. We're playing Fall Guys. If you're like, I don't really get down with Fall Guys, I don't care. It's free on every platform, and we have an absolute blast. It's super fun. You have to use like 3 buttons to play it. I mean, even Zubair could figure it out. So make sure you're here Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, but you're not going to get notified for the members content. We end every day with members, and we do something on Friday night with members, but you don't really get notified. You do, but you don't. So a great way to never miss out is to get into the Discord. And a great way to support the channel is to become a member or gift members, because we do not run advertisements here all that often, maybe once per stream when I go upstairs to use the restroom. And also, we need 20 more likes if you're enjoying the show this morning. You guys have been very faithfully showing up. Some of these topics are not bringing a lot of new folks in, but the cool thing to see is how many people are just coming back every day and enjoying the show who are already subscribed. So if you're already subscribed, go through that ritual. Make sure you're on live chat so you can see what everybody's saying, and smash that thumbs up button. Those things help. Even just saying good morning in the chat is a way to help out. There's so much good content out there that they could make good Star Wars stories with, and yet they choose to deliver mediocre content. I'm just disappointed. That's my point, Camille. If there's anybody out there that should just be absolutely hitting home runs, it's any of the property owned by Disney. What the frick are you doing? What are you doing? You should have budgets that are so deep and staff that are so talented, you should fall down backwards into good shows by accident. You should just be swimming in money and talent that you're like, whoops, it was an Oscar-winning movie. It was an Emmy Award-winning show. Like, what the frick are y'all doing over there? Love the show. Time to work and lurk. Thank you, Shenanigans. Book of Boba Fett was full of cheese, and it was maggot-infested moldy cheese, like a whole giant cheese wheel. I was more forgiving of that show. I was just kind of like, blah, blah. I was like, well, offshoot story with a character that people think is cool, but ultimately this character's not that important. That's fine. Like, I was more forgiving. You start messing around with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I take it serious. I take it personally. I do. Star Wars has such amazing content lock in the extended universe. I want to watch a Darth Raven or Darth Bane movie or show. Show me something from prior to the rule of two, anything. They told us what they're doing this weekend. Everything, apparently. Yeah, they did. They did. It's like that Brian Regan cranberry thing that he talks about. He's like, what do you got going on over there? Grape juice? Yes, put some cranberries in there. We'll go 50-50. What do you got going on over there? Oh, you got some apple juice? We'll call it cran apple. Put some cranberries in there. It's like, settle down, Cranberry Man. It's like, settle down, Disney. They're like, what character? Huh? Who? Was there a stranger on the street in one of the Marvel comics named Dave? All right, let's just have a show called Dave. Yeah? Oh, what? Huh? There was a minor character in one of the stories. She was a nurse. Oh, Moira? Let's just have a show called Moira. Right? Let's just do everything. Let's do everything that we can. Yeah, it's content vomit. It's just content vomit. I was in favor of it until about 2 weeks ago. I was like, what the F? What is happening? Dave's already a show, and it's fantastic. Yeah, Dave getting renewed for season 2 already. It's literally just Dave going to work and being like, every day of his life, being like, I was there, you know. I was downtown New York when the Avengers fought. Yeah. Yep. Captain America looked me in the eye. Yeah. That's just it's his boring, mediocre life, and he's constantly trying to infect that into the conversation, and it just ruins his life. He can't get a date. He can't get a girlfriend. He can't make friends. He doesn't get invited to anything, and he can't figure out why. That's the show right there. That at least would be freaking funny and entertaining. Like, ship that. Lono's starting to see. He's fighting the Force. Yeah, he's beginning to believe. The Power Rangers on the bikes was enough for me to not watch a single episode. Well, you missed out. If you checked out a Power Rangers and you missed some of the best Mandalorian... You missed some of the best Mandalorian episodes baked into Boba Fett. They were like, we ran out of content. Can we grab some? They went over to the Mandalorian guys. It was like, we ran out of content. Can we borrow a couple episodes from your next season? They're like, okay, here you go. And we'll give you some. You know. Personally, I'm all in. Give me everything Marvel, everything. Legend, I felt that way, and I haven't watched Miss Marvel yet, but I feel like my mind's going to permanently change once I watch Miss Marvel, because I absolutely loved Moon Knight. I thought Moon Knight was spectacular. What's his name? Oscar Isaacs? That guy deserves a couple awards for that show. That show was great, and boy, oh boy, did he bring his A game. That guy, he's playing he's playing two different dudes, basically. No, I almost spoiled something. We can complain, but I know for a fact I'm going to end up watching all the Marvel stuff. It won't be day one, week one, or anything like that, but eventually I'll do it. Well, they're going to do that with Star Wars, though, right? This is why I said that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is great Star Wars storytelling. It's just Oscar Isaac, right? It's not plural. Yeah, Oscar Isaac. He was so freaking good. It's just fantastic. It was unbelievable. You need more of it? Yeah, it was so well done. Ethan Hawke was fantastic. The guy that voice acted Khonshu, oh my gosh. Yeah. Wakanda Forever. That's why I wore some Black Panther. I hadn't worn Black Panther in a while. Always remember you can use the shirt command. It'll take you to the Black Panther collection over there at 80s Tees. Use my code. Fall Guys Invitation, Dear Zubair. Nice job, Hilly. We seem to be 100 likes short, folks, says Lord Bacon the Destroyer. You gotta motivate him. You gotta get him up. You gotta get him up moving. I want the Bounty Hunter game from the Star Wars universe that was canceled, right? I have no idea. Star Wars doesn't do that draw for me, says Abe. I've tried so hard to get into the franchise, but I can't. Maybe if Darth Jar Jar was a real thing. Frick you, Abe. The transition from No Woman, No Cry, all right, by Kendrick Lamar, it was good. When she said she is the leader of the strongest nation or whatever, and she's like, what have I not given? What have I not sacrificed? I was like, you tell him, queen. You frickin' tell him. She's frickin' losing it. She is going off. I was like, yes, you tell him. I was in. It's not going to be M'Baku, and I'm sad. I can tell. That's not Winston Duke's rear end. It's not. There's no way. That's a thick man. He's big man, and that's not his rear end. I don't think it's Shuri either, though. I don't think it's Shuri. I'll settle for Killmonger over Shuri. I find I have to pace myself with the Marvel content. Too easy to get burnt out on it. That said, we're looking at more Daredevil. Yeah, I was happy when I saw that. Angela Bassett. Yeah. She's excellent. She's freaking awesome. Yeah, it's not Winston Duke in the suit. I'm very sad because that's who I was pulling for. If you guys are just tuning in, we're getting all over the place because Star Wars and Marvel are now in this same conundrum with Disney, and they're making tons of stuff, maybe too much stuff. It's my belief that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is some of the best Star Wars out there. And Jedi Fallen Order 2, which is basically Star Wars Jedi Survivor, we're hoping is excellent and is good and does good things. We recently got Star Wars Jedi Survivor leaks with respect to the release date, with respect to some mechanics in the game. There was a figurine at the Comic-Con, and he doesn't just have a blaster at his side, he can hold the blaster. The figure can hold the blaster. And many people, hat tip to you if you saw this, in the Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer, he had a blaster at his side, and people pointed that out. They're like, well, maybe there's going to be a blaster. I, for one, could use some improvement in the gameplay. So in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order gameplay, you are definitely in the ranged combat. It doesn't feel that great. You know, you're just basically waiting and reflecting blaster shots or trying to shove back the rockets or whatever. And I, for one, found it to be not that stellar. So I could see them improving that aspect of the game by giving you a blaster to simplify some of those engagements. You know, maybe rolling around or whatever, and that way you can shoot and kind of roll and get out of the way. Bring some of the Western feel, you know. Maybe there's parts of the game where you just can't use your lightsaber because it's going to give away, you know, that you're a Jedi. And that could be cool to have certain areas of the game where you play it more like an over-the-shoulder, you know, action-adventure shooter, Western style, you know, going into some towns or places, and, you know, maybe we go to Tatooine. I think there's multiple Panthers in this movie. Well, I can get down with that. That means M'Baku could put the suit on at some point. It was definitely a female Black Panther, probably Shuri to defend. I don't know. The waist was too big. That waistline was a dude's waistline. It didn't feel. Shuri is really small, so maybe the bunch of padding to hide it. But blaster in one hand, lightsaber in another. Maybe you lose your powers for a period. The only reason I don't think they'll do that, Valiant, is that was the theme of the entire first game, is you don't have almost any Force powers. You have to recommune throughout the entire game with the Force. It'd be kind of a bummer to be like, welcome to Jedi Fallen Order 2. You lost your powers again. Like, maybe for like one section or one level. I think it would be cooler that like you just can't use your powers or your lightsaber because you need to hide. And if you use your powers or your lightsaber, everyone's going to know that's a Jedi over there. So that could be cooler. Not that you lose them, but that you just cannot use them. Yeah. I know, judging off the character size, super suit padding. Wheezy, what do you expect, though? Everybody's speculating who it is. You think we're not going to look at somebody's legs and butt and waistline and be like, all right, who is that? Whose butt is that, right? Everybody's going to do that. They want to know who the Black Panther is. Huh? Mama, there's just times in life where you have to look at a person's butt. Oh, no, I'm not being rude to Wheezy. He just got here anyway. He's freaking late. He's on Wheezy time. We know what that means. Doesn't mean anything, babe. What do you think it means? You're the one that brought him up, not me. I didn't say anything. I'm just sitting. I'm calmer than you. I'm calmer than you are. Jedi Outcast has tons of guns. You could use the Force to slow time down and run around and blast dudes before they could react. It was radical. Late people in glass houses. Hey. My lateness is by design, okay? My lateness is by design. There's a difference between the two, my friend. I got a bunch of grief for running 10-minute intros like we used to on Purple. So, yeah.
You were late this morning?
I was late this morning, yeah. I was. Because I was upstairs, and I had to use the restroom, and then I had to make coffee.
And your leg was asleep.
I'll be honest. My body has decided that 9:03 is like that's when we have to go to the bathroom. My body has decided that. It's not up to me. Right? That's not my fault. I don't have any control over that. Ever since my appendix surgery, my body's like, surprise. It's right, you have to. There's no window of debate here. Shenanigans renewing their membership. Welcome back in. Thank you so much. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a flashback, like post-blip. Lost my entire family. Shuri got blip. Nakia will be Black Panther during that 5-year period. Maybe. Jester says, I would like game sequels to carry my character's features from one to the other, or start with the previous game, last possible configuration. It feels stupid to relearn skills as there before. Right, so in my mind, I've said this about Jedi Fallen Order 2. I've said this, right? About Star Wars Jedi Survivor, okay? I could see you helping Seer get, like, recommune with the Force, and you end up playing as her sometimes, so now you have a new skill tree you have to build out, okay? And then there's the, oh my gosh, the Night Sister, or whatever the frick her name is, right? The Night Sister, I forget her name. She holds the lightsaber at one point in Jedi Fallen Order, and she likes it. She's digging it. She's like, okay, I can get down with this. And she's clearly Force sensitive. She can do, like, the magic, or whatever the frick it's called. Marin, thank you. So Seer and Marin could be playable characters in the next game, where you gotta, like basically Cal is training them. Like, I think that'd be freaking dope. By game 5, you're just a god with a super bloated skill tree. Right, within reason, Valiant's right. You can't just always carry over and add on top. It's like when you just keep adding, what's the word? Wallpaper. You just keep adding wallpaper on top of wallpaper on top of wallpaper. It eventually doesn't work. You gotta take it all down. What if Cal is one of those Jedi that can tap into the light and dark, and you have to learn how to tame both? Oh, he becomes a Gray Jedi? Listen, Listen, I'm fully in support of Gray Jedi. I am. For a handful of reasons, okay? I believe that Obi-Wan Kenobi tapped into the dark side to beat Darth Maul. I believe that Luke Skywalker tapped into the dark side to beat Darth Vader. I believe we have verifiable proof and a pattern that even the best Jedi aren't strong enough on their own to beat Sith Lords. Like, I believe that. I firmly believe that Obi-Wan goes toe-to-toe with Darth Maul in a fit of rage after previously him and Qui-Gon being like, we can't really handle this guy, right? He goes toe-to-toe with him. I'm not just talking about killing him. I'm talking about the fight turns on him being angry. The fight turns on Luke Skywalker being angry, okay? And then Mace Windu, yeah, there's lore and theories about Mace Windu and the dark side and all of that, right? So I'm totally in favor of that. I don't know what impetus there would be for Cal to be like, oh, I'm going to fiddle around with the dark side. He beats Trilla, right? Unless the temptation to use the dark side is because he stands no chance against Vader. Seer's at a weak point at that part, and she is strong enough to at least keep Vader, like, to slow him down, right? Seer's pretty strong, I think. I think she might be stronger than we realize. I wish you were able to create your own character. That would have been dope. That's a little bit more fitting in, like, an open world game or, like, in like an MMO game or something. I don't think we see Vader this time around. Oh, I think we do. I think we do. It'll be very minimal though. If you guys are just tuning in, we're talking Star Wars Jedi Survivor leaks. The Star Wars Jedi Survivor release date was apparently leaked by the Sony store for March of next year. There was also a figurine at Comic-Con where Cal doesn't just have a blaster at his side, he can hold the blaster, and many people noticed in the first Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer that he had a blaster, which could significantly change the flow of combat, especially a lot of those ranged engagements where dudes are shooting at you. So if you're enjoying the content, I am a Safe for Work broadcaster. I do live streams like this all throughout the week. We have multiple shows each day that we do for you. Do me a favor, hit subscribe, hit the bell button if it's your first time here. A lot of people treat me like a radio show. They throw me on in the background of their day. And there's other ways to support the channel monetarily. This isn't like a normal YouTube experience where you're going to be seeing lots of ads beginning, middle, and end of the stream. We do memberships, and then I have my own coffee that we sell, and people will tell you how good it is. I'm drinking some right now. This is not a sponsor. This is ours, hence the name, Reforge Roast, because you're on Reforge Gaming right now. If they carry your stats over in games, it causes a problem with new players because then they'd have the game have to be made similar difficulty for the end of the last. Don't talk about everything. Keep steep learning curve. Right, Frostbite. That's a good point, too. Like, what do you do with a brand new player who's like, oh, I'm going to skip the first game, right? What do you do with them? Eugene says, for Cal's story to have any significance within the story, Vader has to show up. At this point, Cal would be a very important target. Yeah. Cal, you got to think about the significance of what he did. Cal comes out of hiding, goes to a base, and kills Trilla. Well, actually, no. He beats her and was going to convert her back. He was going to get her back on our side, right? What's good, Christos? Hello, Ilada Mono. I'm not sure what that means, but good to see you. Christos Probidas. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not. Star Wars Force Unleashed's light side and dark side ending also would be really cool if they have stormtrooper arms being chopped like Force Unleashed. Lightsabers aren't the same anymore. Yeah, apparently they bounce off stormtrooper armor. What the frig is that about? I don't think Vader would be mad at Cal for what he did. I guarantee Vader did not want Sidious to have the holocron either. Maybe, right? 8 out of 10? I did it. It'll be interesting because I think this will take place around the same time as a Kenobi show. Well, there is speculation, no rumor, no leak, but there is speculation that Cal Kestis ends up in one of the shows. Because that actor, he's fabulous. He did the Joker in Gotham. He's a super talented young man. Start throwing him in the shows, man. Do it. Do it. I say ditch Cal as the main character and make Dengar the main instead. Isn't he just the little frumpy pilot guy? Isn't he just the little, Dengar? Isn't he just a little guy that pilots the thing? Wait, who's Dengar? Who is this guy? What's he from? Is he even in the game? Star Wars on Twitter. Dengar. Oh, was Dengar in Rise of Skywalker? That would be so out of left field. Anthony A. hitting an 11-month milestone, getting close to a year. Welcome back in, sir. Thank you for that membership. Appreciate it very much. Dengar the Demolisher. He's a bounty hunter. Yeah, that's right. Grizz is the pilot. Yeah. If you're going to do a Dengar game, then do a Dengar game. Why would you just suddenly take Jedi Fallen Order and have you playing as a dadgum bounty hunter? That wouldn't make any sense at all. Like, welcome to Jedi Survivor. You're going to play as a bounty hunter. What? The only thing I can see, I'd need to see in the show to really believe, is if Kenobi turned down the power of his saber so that Leia wouldn't be traumatized. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You know, if I'm going in a room to rescue a little girl, I'm like, I guess I better shoot them all in the leg because I don't want her to be traumatized. No, I'm thinking everybody in here gets turned to ribbons. I'm saving this little girl. I don't care what it takes, man. I will jam your eyeballs into the back of your skull if I need to. I'm rescuing this little girl. Nobody's going in the room and being like, well, I don't want to traumatize her, so I'm going to bounce my lightsaber off the stormtrooper armor. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, anybody in a situation where you're rescuing a child is going to do whatever's necessary. I didn't say it was a good idea. I just said it would make some sense. Yeah. He looks at the stormtrooper. He's like, you're lucky that I didn't want to traumatize this little girl. Star Wars Jedi Bounty Hunter. Would be cool if you were a bounty hunter hunting Jedi. Well, sure, but that's a very different game. Listen, if you're going to just hunt down Jedi, then just give me Trilla. Just give me Trilla as a prequel. Let me play as her. She's wonderful. I'm telling you, she steals the show. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Trilla steals the show. From the time that she shows up to the end, I'm like, I'm more interested in her. She's the best. The voice acting, the writing, her final scene, she's just absolutely fabulous. She's one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. She's awesome. She's everything that you want to see in a villain, right? She's complicated. Her motivations make sense. She's been twisted. She's manipulated. She's really freaking strong. Like, the voice actor just brought all that to life so incredibly well. I don't know if she won any awards for that work, but she deserved it because she crushed it. I just realized the scene you're talking about. Yeah, it's bonkers. Bring back Star Wars 1313. That was going to be the bounty hunter game. I'm still salty about that. I'm still hoping Amy Hennig can deliver the game she wanted to make. She's in charge of a game now, isn't she, Swade? She got bumped over to some project. Which one is she helping with? Is it the Respawn one? The Inquisitors in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order are way better than the ones in Obi-Wan Kenobi series. It's a real bad sign when a video game story is better than your 8 episode long series with a huge budget and professional actors. Like, what an indictment of that dadgum show, dude. Seriously. Get the frick out of here with all of that. Get out of here. I'd play an Inquisitor Fallen Order game. Maybe. I don't know. Here's the challenge if they were to do a game like that. Because if you're going to go from Jedi Fallen Order or Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and you go over into a game that's all about the dark side, it almost have to be a completely different game. It would have to, because what you're doing, I don't know. If it was just like action adventure, I could see, you know how they did that with Uncharted? They did like the spin-off game for $40 with the 2 chicks that you play as. This is a really good game. It's like Lost Legacy or whatever the heck. I could see them doing that with Trilla. You could do like a spin-off, shorter, smaller, contained game for like $40. But I can't see doing like a whole game where you're playing as an Inquisitor. That would be weird. Skydance, it's the studio she co-founded. Oh, that's right. She's been bumped around to like 3 different Star Wars games. I'm not sure if Disney will let her make the game she wants to. Or considering as professional in terms of actors. Oh, settle the frick down. It's funny, but there's actually a story in Clone Wars that would make the lightsaber bouncing off Stormtrooper armor make sense. Oh my gosh, what story? I gave up on Star Wars Jedi because I got lost while exploring the map. It's so complicated and lack of proper indication. Listen, I'm going to say most of that's probably on you, but I am going to say that some of that is on the map. That's 80-20. That's 80-20. That's mostly you, homie. The map's not that hard to understand, but it is poorly designed. I'll grant you that point. Trilla is the best part of the Inquisitor story arcs. I agree. I agree with that. I agree. Hey, we're an hour into the stream and YouTube says now would be a good time to run advertisements. We would actually prefer to show YouTube a different path forward. I don't think running advertisements on a timer is a good vibe for live streams. So we lean on members. So consider clicking the blue join button. $5 a month gets you into all of our extra content. Renew your membership or gift some memberships. I think that rhythm will communicate something to YouTube that is, I think, healthier for live environment. Thank you, Ration, for renewing your member right on the nose. If we every hour in they do that, if we have this huge surge of like super chats, gifted members, new members, renewed members, I think that'll start to send a loud and clear message that like, hey, come talk to me. I'll show you how it's done. I'll show you how it's done. I want the story like the canceled Battlefront 3 game that was the sequel to Star Wars Battlefront 2, where you play as a clone during the event of Order 66 and after. Like, I could see that, Gaming Frontier, but don't you think that they've done too much with Star Wars games for people to want that? Wouldn't that feel a little pedestrian and basic to be like, here's a game where you play as a clone? Do you see what I'm saying? It's almost like they've shown you too much. You've experienced too much. If you've played Jedi Fallen Order, there's no way you're going to be like, yeah, I'll play a game where I run around as a clone. It would, I don't know. I don't want to knock the idea before it even has a chance to prove itself, but that feels like a concept that would go nowhere. Because clones are so, they're throwaway, man. They're throwaway. They're nothing. They have a blaster and they're totally disposable within the realm of like war and all the things that happen. Now, obviously, yes, the stories are great and you connect with certain, clones and all of that. I just don't know if it would work. You would want a military shooter like Clone Commandos. Yeah, they should have finished 13-13 to look like a lot of fun. I love Star Wars, but it's getting way oversaturated at this point. Star Wars Clone Commando 2, make it happen. Oh, so you guys are saying... well, if it was first person, I think I was picturing it being third person. Maybe if it was first person and they added a lot of cool weapons and blasters or something. I think Star Wars games are kind of washed, says Fliz. I don't agree with that with respect to Jedi Fallen Order. I think Star Wars Jedi Survivor could be amazing. Stop with the clones. That guy's a terrible actor. See Book of Boba Fett, just let him go. I think he's fine, but I don't think there's much else there's not much else to him. Like, I think he's fine. But he definitely got he definitely got the dream job, right? He had like minimal lines in the original Star Wars movies and then became this massive character of intrigue. And he becomes central and super important to the whole clone narrative. So he becomes like a central figure, right? He becomes an absolute central figure. So that's you talk about winning. You talk about winning the movie lottery. This guy went from minor character to probably just massive fat royalty checks until his grandkids are dead. Like, just unbelievable how much he's gotten to do and probably been paid for. Anyone remember Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the PS2? The huge fights were awesome. I'd love a remake. My question is, how would that be different? If they made a Star Wars Republic Commando sequel, there's a following that wants that. Listen, I might be speaking out of turn. There might be a ton of people that would love that. From my perspective, okay, so I'm not saying it would be bad or they shouldn't do it. From my perspective, it would just feel really pedestrian. It would be like, okay, it's a shooter in the Star Wars world. Like, who gives a frick? I'll be honest with you. First-person shooters where you just kind of play missions and play through a story, I'm just not that interested anymore because I don't know how much they can do to make them crazy good. I played a game the other day where I was like a ninja who could slow time and jump in the air and grab people and everything else, and I was like, yeah, I've just kind of done this before, you know? And that's not the game dev's fault, so that's not me saying they shouldn't. I'm just explaining my own perspective. I'm like, I don't care. I feel like every time I go to play through a first-person shooter, there's this sense of, yeah, I've played this before. And it has nothing to do with the quality of the game. It has nothing to do with the quality of the developer. It's not even their fault. It's a reality that I don't know if you can undo it. I played Battlefront and loved it. I'm being hyperbolic, but yeah, not a huge fan of the Star Wars games overall. Did you even touch Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? Battlefront 3 was supposed to be a Force-sensitive clone. It would have been the average shooter. It wouldn't have been just an average shooter. Okay. I can get down with that. A Force-sensitive clone in hiding? I'd be interested to see how they got that lore out of the box. How does one clone end up being Force-sensitive thanks to the brilliance of George Lucas and the stupid midichlorians? How do you do that? How does somebody, or does the Force just do that? Does the Force just sort of create midichlorians in a person at birth or at a young age? So even if they're a clone, it's like, well, yeah, my dad wasn't Force sensitive, but I don't know, the midichlorian fairy waved the wand over my crib and here I am. So, you know, all that cool mystery thrown out the window. It was actually two twins, Force-sensitive clones. I don't think the exact lore ever came out. First-person shooters are washed. I changed my statement. Right? Like, I'm not trying to knock first-person shooters, but, like, I think some of this is me. I've just played too many of them. I've been playing first-person shooters since the first-person shooter genre was born. Wolfenstein 3D, then I played Quake 2 and Quake 3, Unreal Tournament, Call of Duty. I've literally played them all. And I'm like, I don't know what you can do now. Jeff Goldblum voice. The Force finds a way. That's right. I've never played the game you're asking about. I can try it, though. If you like... if you like melee-based action-adventure games or Metroidvanias, Jedi Fallen Order is fantastic. Tamura Morrison wasn't even the actor in the suit in the original trilogy. He first showed up in episode 2. The original guy in the suit was a white dude with a mustache. He was the voice, though, was he not? Isn't that why they grabbed him, so that the voice would line up? He's no good to me, dead. I don't know. Anybody could have done that voice to a certain degree. Come on, chat. Smash the like button. Do it, chat. Do it. First-person shooters is a tough genre, just like platformers. Hard to do anything original. First-person shooters is one of the oldest genres in gaming, so yeah, it gets stale when you're a static arm character. BF3 story was two sensitive clones. The one clone was a Jedi. They were put into the clone battalion. But during the events of the Order 66, one chooses to join the rebellion and one chooses the Empire. Sorry to disappoint, but time travel's already in Star Wars. When did they do time travel? Whatever the reasoning, being stuck with Tamura is just crap's totally bad. You know what's funny is when he showed up in Mandalorian, I thought it worked. Do you want to know why? It's the Kramer effect. In Seinfeld, you could not have done a spin-off show called Kramer. You couldn't have done it, right? It'd have been too much of him. But if he's in episodes infrequently, sliding in the door, just being Kramer, Cosmo Kramer, right? It works. So I think when Boba Fett showed up in Mando, it worked because he was a condiment on the meal. He wasn't the meal. He was there. He was rough. He was gritty. He was breaking stormtroopers' masks open with his staff. It was awesome. I loved how mysterious that was. It was like, dude's got a sand people staff or stick, and he's just busting open stormtrooper faces with it. This guy's awesome. But then you do a show with him, and it's like, he can't carry this, man. They knew he couldn't carry it because they had to bring in Mando. It was like, this guy can't carry the show. We got to bring in what's her face? Ming? Is that her name? From frickin' Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? They had to bring her in and have her really try to help. Personally, first-person games are some of the most triggering games for me, especially if the character customization is amazing, like Cyberpunk. Yeah, because then you never see them. Well, when you pause the game, you do. While we're on first-person shooters, have you seen the Castlevania first-person mod? No, I've not seen that. Any speed past light speed is time travel? Huh? War Thunder is hard. I'm trying so hard right now. I'm just getting dumped on. I'm not sure what that is. Jason Wingreen is the original voice actor for Boba Fett in Episode 5, but in every release from 2004 on, it's Morrison. So they went back and changed the voice actor. Jiminy freaking Christmas. Han shot first. Then, well, actually, Han shot. That's actually what the statement should be. He shot. There is no shot first when the other person doesn't shoot. War Thunder's pay to win? I don't think any time travel exists in Star Wars outside of like one comic book issue. Boba was supposed to be more Wild West, if I recall. That's not an excuse for how bad that show was. The OG Boba was supposed to be more... Oh, I see what you're saying. That's everywhere. If you can arrive somewhere before you are seen arriving, you are time traveling. Wait, what? Not in the traditional movie sense where like you would go back in time or literally go into the future. So every time they're doing light speed, they're time traveling. Can we get a Star Wars game with Gary Busey as the main voice actor? No. That would be terrible. If you guys are enjoying the show, do me a favor and smash that like button. I guarantee you there's 50 people right now who are here every day or here regularly enjoying that show. Give that thumbs up a smash, man. It'll help out. You can't go back, but you can go forward. Explain to me how you're going forward by just traveling really fast. How does that actually mean you went forward in time? Wouldn't it be that you just arrived faster than thought possible, which would actually mean time would slow, not like... So if time slowed, if you leave Mos Eisley and time slows down, there is no traveling back or forward. That doesn't make any sense to me. According to Wikipedia, there are no examples of purposeful physical time travel where somebody willfully goes to a different spot on a timeline. So no time travel. So Boba Fett's the Deadpool of Star Wars. Morrison has come out to say he didn't like the Book of Boba Fett and has said Star Wars is sadly not the same. He knows he could be open because Disney can't touch him. He's too powerful and popular. Oh, really? He's been open about that? Kemper saying that time travel happened in Star Wars Rebels when Ezra saved Ahsoka from Vader using the worlds between. Prequel storytelling is just super redundant. I hate that Star Wars has been mostly telling prequel stories, except for the sequel trilogy. But we all know that ended up. That's why they're all banking on the nostalgic prequel storytelling, because they got everybody excited about Obi-Wan, because it's Obi-Wan. Like, people that defended the Obi-Wan TV show by being like, well, it's not really for longtime fans. Well, then why in the frick did you make the show? Like, who do you think's really worried and caring about that show? It certainly isn't brand new fans. It is not. No, that show was made on nostalgia. He means relativity. It's why when he gets back from the trip in Interstellar, his daughter is super old, but he's not. So relativity is not the same as time travel. In a sense of where you were, Earth looking at the sun is 8 minutes if you travel faster than light. So faster than that 8 minutes of time, you would get to on Earth, you were technically 8 minutes? What? You were technically 8 minutes ahead of where you were? Not real time travel. In Star Wars, faster than light travel and all its relativity issues are handled by hyperspace. Too powerful for Disney to touch? That's hilarious. Yeah, I find it strange for anybody to conclude that that guy is too powerful and popular for Disney to touch. I mean, even Mark Hamill was very chill and he didn't say much. You could tell he didn't want to deal with them. Only thing about the Obi-Wan show that was good was the very end. Oh, the only thing good about it was when he said hello there. Yeah. Hello there. Yeah, I can't do it. Let's just have a Jar Jar sitcom. That's right. Yeah, I mean, if they did relativity, but what's he describing where somebody apparently saved Ahsoka with some lands between or something? That sounds to me like somebody was able to travel from one spot in time to another. No one's too powerful for Disney. Yeah, I wouldn't think that his popularity rivals the popularity of any of the other characters or actors. That, like, Disney would be afraid to scold him or hit him or smack him with anything. Like, hey, shut your frickin' mouth, dude. You can't be out here talking bad. You can't be out here talking bad about the content, you know? Now, you're seeing it as, well, he's too powerful. He might be done. He might be like, man, I'm done. I don't want to do anything with this anymore. They don't care. Kevin Feige might be the only one. I mean, anybody can cross a line. Disney don't care. The Worlds Between is an alternate dimension that has gateways to different points in the timeline. Ezra reached through the gate and literally grabbed Ahsoka when Vader was about to kill her. That sounds like time travel to me. A deepfake of that guy would be a better actor than he was in Book of Boba Fett. He wasn't that bad. Jiminy frickin' Christmas. My hypothesis for Black Panther, I'm going to spoiler, so you don't want to read it, you don't have to. Calling it now, I'm not going to read it out loud. They have this person, multiverse this person, or this person as Black Panther. At the end of the movie, they reveal the MC version as this person, okay, who takes the mantle. Also, I don't think that this person is just there for show. Someone is behind the scenes pulling the strings. I bet it's our first MCU look at this, or just a silhouette as the slow build-up to Kang Dynasty and Fantastic Four. Huh. ScarJo's the only person powerful enough to slap the mouse. She wasn't powerful enough. She had legal precedent. They were dumb. They asked for it. Are people really expecting Boba Fett to be this deep, prolific thinker and speaker? Yeah, I thought he did fine. The character's literally supposed to be just sort of a gritty man of few words. I thought that was fine. He's a bounty hunter. He was raised to be a bounty hunter. That's it. Yeah, I think people are probably overthinking it a little bit. I don't think he was that bad of an actor. I think he did a totally fine job. I thought his son in the movies was terrible. Get him, Dad! Yeah! Yeah! Fire! Oh my gosh, like just muzzle him and throw him in the back, you know? Boba's trash compared to his daddy. Chimera is as good of an actor as a slightly drunk uncle who has to suddenly do a stand-in a local community theater Shakespeare in the Park production. That's rude. Morrison didn't like the writing in Book of Boba Fett. He thinks Boba Fett talks way too much and tried to get it fixed multiple times. So he actually thinks that he's not supposed to talk that much. And that's exactly what some of y'all are kind of saying. Microsoft is speeding up the Xbox Series S and S boot time. Around 5 seconds have been shaved off, and changes are coming in an update soon. Details here. Okay. That's cool. It's quite a bit hyperbolic, but all right. Yeah, I mean, he's being silly, but yeah, when he was trying to get him to ride the bikes, yeah, that was pretty bad. Like, and that's not his fault. They made him do that. They made him do this. Like, who's gonna do this with his big, giant, beautiful teeth? Like, good. Like, how do I make this not look absolutely awkward? Like, maybe it's supposed to feel awkward. Like, you're trying to communicate with people. I guess you would look kind of dumb. Trying to pantomime and play charades with the sand people. How do you convey to the people that don't understand you? Yeah, I'll actually, you know what? I'll actually give you that. It's meant to feel a little awkward and a little, oh my gosh, like this poor guy, he's kind of making a fool of himself. You know, it's a humbling experience for him. It's just when you cut it out of context, I guess it ends up making him look real goofy. Because he's got humongous teeth, you know? Look how big his teeth are. You can see him from like a mile away. It's like... They're just huge, you know? I think a lot of people think that stuff that Disney does should be changed. Boba did not talk that much in the movies. I don't know about the comics, but also Disney did not want masculine women in Ashanto. I don't know what you're... Encanto. They didn't want masculine women in Encanto? What are you talking about? Literally beat down like 6 Jedi barehanded. Legends Jango was a beast. Tony Stark never died. He was captured by the Skrulls the whole time. Oh my gosh. Shut up. Oh, they didn't want masculine women in Encanto and She-Hulk. Yeah, I don't know about Encanto, but there is internal documentation now that they really wanted She-Hulk to be lean and thin. And listen, in their defense, She-Hulk is supposed to be a big departure from Hulk. Look at the comics. She looks like a babe. Like, she looks like she's ripped right out of Baywatch, sprayed her green, and she's running around. Big old shapely body. She's supposed to look hot. Like, that's a comic book trope that they can't necessarily get around. She-Hulk's not supposed to look masculine at all. That's not them being like anti-masculine woman. They're like, look at the dadgum source material in the comics. She-Hulk is a freaking babe. That's the way they build their characters. Look at the history of comic books. I have a book that teaches you how to draw comic book characters, and it talks about how you're supposed to accentuate the breasts, make small waistlines, big broad hips. Like, it's literally in a how to draw Marvel characters guidebook that I have. So I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna fault Disney for being like, She-Hulk needs to look really feminine and thin. That's how she looks in the frickin' comics. She's not thick enough. She's been skipping leg day. I mean, there is elements to the character that probably could be thickened up, but even that would get criticized for being unrealistic. How many women are running around with these huge, thick, wonderful thighs and teeny waistlines? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what people would say then too. Like, there's always a way to criticize. She-Hulk only looks different in that she's muscly and very tall. She's not supposed to be Banner-like. Yeah. The problem wasn't that she was too feminine. The problem was the CGI just didn't look that good. That was the issue. She's supposed to be the feminine ideal as much as Hulk is supposed to be the masculine ideal. Yeah, I don't know. When's that coming out? It's sometime this year, isn't it? They did create a She-Hulk version in the comics that looks similar to Hulk. Yeah, but that's not the one that everybody's going to be thinking of when they think She-Hulk. You know what I mean? I like I said, I have a How to Draw Marvel Comic Characters book, and it has you drawing the wife from Fantastic Four, and she's super busty and buxom and shapely. Like, that's just how they were drawn. Oh, it's real soon, August. There you go. There you go. It'll probably get memed on and made fun of, no doubt. No doubt that's going to get memed on and made fun of. If you're tuning in and you're wondering why we're talking about She-Hulk and Marvel, it's because Disney owns Star Wars, so they're in close proximity. Today's show is about Star Wars Jedi Survivor leaks. The Star Wars Jedi Survivor release date was leaked by the Sony store, and then they corrected it. It looks like it might come out as early as March of next year. Also, there was a toy of Cal Kestis at Comic-Con. He not only has a blaster at his side, he can hold the blaster, which some believe is pointing to him being able to use a blaster in the game. That's a hat tip to all the people that watched the Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer and were like, he's got a blaster on his hip. I think that could point to some Jedi Fallen Order 2 gameplay mechanical changes where the ranged fights and the shooting maybe turn a little more Western. Maybe there's parts of the game where you can't use your force or your lightsaber because you're hiding, but you can use a blaster. So it looks good from the second trailer. I don't know if that's the only good part. Sony Stark is a Force ghost. Yeah. She's like that in the cartoons as well. I can't keep up with all the Marvel stuff anymore. It's such a commitment. Yeah, we fell way behind. We just recently were able to watch Multiverse of Madness, and we just finished Moon Knight. I thought Moon Knight was excellent. It's probably the one of the strongest. I think it's up there. I think it's up there and is really strong with the other shows that I think are strong. Like, I think a lot of people thought that Loki. I think Loki is probably the one that gets picked the most by people as being probably the strongest in the bunch. And I think it's right up there with Loki. It might be slightly better than Loki. Maybe. I'd have to rewatch both. You apparently typed good morning in chat and you never press enter. What's good, Talika? Yeah, guys, make sure you're going through that morning ritual. Say good morning, say hello if you're here lurking. Make sure you're on live chat so you can see what everybody's saying in chat. Make sure you have smashed the like button. We need those 300 likes. That really, really helps. We've been having much better treatment and really, really good engagement from you guys. And a lot of that comes down to when you show up, you interact with the video in that positive way. So thank you. Just finished Jedi Fallen Order 2 nights ago. I had no clue was an interaction with Vader. Yep. Yeah. I remember being blown away at that. That didn't get spoiled for me. How was your hangover? I don't have a hangover from 4 beers, homie. I had 4 beers on a Friday night. I always limit myself to 4. I wake up the next morning, have some breakfast with the kiddos. I feel a little sluggish. By midday, I'm fine. I don't really get a hangover from 4 beers. Now, granted, they're IPAs, so their ABV's pretty high, but I'm not, like, falling over. Like, it's fun. I get a little loose, and then that's it. That's what Friday nights are. Came in late. Wander over Loki. I thought Wanda... Yeah, no. I think Wanda's brilliant. I do. I think more people would pick Loki, but I thought Wanda was spectacular. Yeah. If you have a hangover from 4, you should just stop. Yeah. Plus, there's things you can do. Drink a ton of water before and after, and it helps. I'm not kidding. You drink a ton of water before and after, you'll feel fine the next day. You know, you got to know your limit. What kind of IPAs? Elysian Space Dust. Some Hazy Janes. I think that's what I had on Friday. I remember beating Trilla with no health and then freaking because I had to fight Vader. Yeah, when you hear him breathing, you're like, no joke. Are they actually doing this? Weezy says Loki, then Moon Knight, then Hawkeye, then everything else. Yo, what's good, Rainbow? Afternoon for you. Good to see you. Loki was definitely my favorite of the two. Loki's just so funny. Dismemberment in a Disney game? No way. Yeah, that's something that people said they'd like to see, you know, letting us do that. They did it. They let Luke dismember people in Mando. Elizabeth Olsen is Marvel's biggest asset right now. Yeah, I would say so. I think she's got a lot of appeal, you know. Obviously she's beautiful, but she's super strong actor. Like she's done very, very good work with the character, and she can touch so many aspects of the MCU that they could really use her for a lot of different things. At this point in media interaction, does anyone else think it's kind of dumb that Comic-Con Hall H presentations like that aren't live streams to the public? I think it's weird that you have to get all the info secondhand. Well, because they want people to come, Sean. Man, oh man, you want to kill your live event? That's what you do. A lot of these guys doing conferences, they're fighting against the tide. Eventually, they will stop doing that, but right now, they have to consider that. Like, ticket sales would probably take a dive if you could watch it all at home. They'd be like, well, I'm not going all the way out to San Diego. You know, I'm watch it all at home. So they're fighting against the tide. They are. And eventually companies might start saying, listen, if we're going to come and pack it all in and bring celebrities and do all this, we expect it to be live streamed. We would really like a lot more people to see it. At the very least, record it and push the video out a day or two later, which some of them do. Fully agree on Wanda Elizabeth. She's my favorite. I liked Loki, but it might have been a better movie. It was far too long. I don't mind the stretching out of character arcs and storytelling. I enjoy it myself. Had an awesome day yesterday. Beat Godfrey. First Elden Lord. After him, I did Margot. Now run around Atlas farming rooms for next prep. There you go. Yeah, we get all the info 5 minutes later. That is true. In-person exclusivity is why cons survive. ETH3's old way of expos died because of it. Yo, a 16-month milestone, and it's a Tier 2 membership. Thank you, Victor, for renewing. Work and lurk engaged. There's a Star Wars Legend Sith named Darth Krayt. The appearance of missing arm fits. Legends timeline doesn't. But then again, it's not canon. Keep it up, Lono. Love you, brother. Thank you, Victor. Is that the guy with the lines on his arms we looked up? You're worried about how the new blade's going to turn out? Love Wesley Snipes' blade. I think they can pull it off. You don't need Wesley. I don't think you need him. I don't think you need Wesley. I think he's great. I think he did a great job. Excuse me, but I don't think you need him. Daredevil will be 18 episodes. Feige heard people's complaining over 6 episodes, so he tripled Matt Murdock series. That'll be great. New Ant-Man Guardians trailers they showed should release soon. That's what I mean, Sean says. At this point, I mean, with inflation and gas prices, health concerns, and everything going on in the world, in-person exclusivity is becoming less worth it. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. It's like I said, I feel like they're fighting against the tide. I do. I feel like they're fighting against the tide. And I'm all for it. For at least one conference in particular, you know, if their ticket sales and engagement and profit goes down, good. But for the rest of them that are trying to like showcase interviews and panels and games and stuff or movies or whatever, I could see them starting to be like, nah, this needs to be digital. It does. I respect your opinion about Snipes as Blade, but you're wrong. Wesley Snipes is Blade. I wasn't really into Blade when it came out, so I feel that way about some of the guys that play the characters now, you know, like RDJ and stuff. You know, it'll be hard to ever see anybody else taking up that mantle, even if they look, oh, it's the multiverse. I don't care. I hope they eventually do a Darth Bane show. I love Darth Bane. I still think Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order could touch the shows. I see Cal doing crossover. I really do. I don't think people want that because I think they're worried it'll give him narrative armor or whatever the frick. But maybe they could time it to where it wouldn't be narrative armor, to where he could just, you know, show up and it wouldn't ruin anything. I don't know. You don't need Wesley Snipes' Blade. I mean, dude went crazy on the last Blade film. He went around making everyone call him Blade and communicating with the director with post-it notes. Tom Cruise as an alternative Iron Man would have been Yeah, that might still happen. That might still happen with the multiverse. They might pull Tom Cruise in. I could see it. Excluding Michael B. Jordan or Idris Elba, who are you going to get to play Blade other than Wesley Snipes that would be good at playing the character? I mean, who's the guy they got? What's he done? Oh my gosh. Come on. This guy's incredible. This guy's award-winning. What are you talking about? This guy, Ali, have you seen him do anything? This guy is top shelf. He is absolutely top. Watch True Detective and then shut up. Absolutely shut up. That guy is phenomenal. It's harder to go higher than his quality and his range. The dude's fantastic. He'll be great as Blade. Yeah, he'll be fine. He's got the look too. Like, I feel like his cheekbone face structure, like, he'll look really, really good. Ollie's perfect cast if we couldn't get Snipes or a younger Jai White. Yeah, I think that's totally fine. Doesn't mean he can play Blade, although Pattinson proved us a lot wrong. I told everybody that Pattinson would prove everybody wrong. I was like, nobody's seen this guy's other work. They all saw Twilight and checked out. You ever going to get another Iron Man story that didn't even do proper Iron Man 4? Riri Williams, nobody Riri Williams. I know some people don't want to see Tom Cruise as Tony Stark, but I'm telling you, Tom Cruise going Looney Tunes kind of crazy, narcissistic. Oh man, he could do a completely different interpretation of Tony Stark. Like, I like Tom Cruise. I do. I know he's bonkers in real life, but I think he could bring some greatness to that character. I really do. I do. I know there's people that'll be like, it'll just be Tom Cruise, right? Like when you watch like Mission Impossible in certain movies, you're like, it's just Tom Cruise, right? They don't think he has enough range. I think he does. I have 2 trigger events to drop the MCU altogether. Return of Killmonger and Tom Cruise. Eddie from Stranger Things is Iron Man. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have pointed out he looks a little bit similar to RDJ. That might be too close to home though. But he would be a good Tony Stark. Yeah. I'd pay money if they took the 1990s Avengers meme and had them as a multiverse versions of the current actors. That'd be great. Oh, yeah, it'd be fantastic. What's good, Zubair? The main thing that separates Wesley from the other actors is his martial arts background. Snipes did all the stunts in those films, and his action sequences are amazing. That said, MCU has great people. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Not now. Back then, that probably added a lot of authenticity, but these days, with their ability to do stand-ins and special effects and stuff. Lono was attacking you and you weren't even here? I was not. I didn't attack him. I just said that everybody should show up for Fall Guys. It's a free-to-play game. And I said, even Zubair can play it. So, I mean, there's no excuse. As long as it's not Ryan Reynolds. I love the man, but I'm bored with his funny man character he does in every role. Oh, they can't use Ryan Reynolds. That would be weird. He's Deadpool. No, anybody would look at that and be like, it's Wade Wilson. What are you doing? That wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. The dude they picked for Blade is related to Snipes somehow, 100%. They look so similar, it's crazy. I don't think he's related to him. I think they have similar like head shapes and bone structure, but I think that's common. When men have really short hair like that. Like, I also think darker skin, it's easier to see like cheekbones and stuff because the way the light hits their skin, it's easier to see their cheekbones. I just think they have similar head shapes. I don't think they're related. I've rewatched some Blade recently, and the stunts and fights are not great, almost B-movie quality. Well, for the time, they were really good, but you know what I mean? For the time. Let me guess, you think all black guys look alike? Here we go. Agreed, Derek. I remember watching them with my dad and thinking it was a bit floaty and cheesy, like old karate movies. Marshala Ali, I don't know how to say his name, so I just keep saying Ali. Says he played Cottonmouth in Luke Cage. Didn't he play? No, that was a different guy. Did you just seem offended at the idea that someone could accuse you of insulting me? I quote, shut up, you... No, that's not what I said. I said, you fat, phallic-minded bitch. And the only reason I said it was because fat, phallic-minded ran together phonetically so well. I didn't do it because I wanted to call you fat. I did it because it was a phonetically beautiful sentence. That's why I did it. I was in rare form on Friday night. I was having a lot of fun. Mahershala Ali. There's probably an accent in there that I'm messing up. Mahershala. He blew me away in True Detective. He absolutely blew me away. He was so good. His performance was bonkers. Just the fact that he had to play a young version of himself, an old version of himself, the fact that he had to play somebody who was losing his grip on reality. Oh my gosh, he was so good. Oh, pardon me. How could I have possibly taken that wrong? Look at Keanu. He barely had any martial arts or firearms training before John Wick, as far as I know. He had some for The Matrix, didn't he? He and Carrie-Anne Moss went through a lot of training for The Matrix, I thought. Which season was that? The most recent season of True Detective. Because I think it's number 3. 1 is undeniably the best season. Season 2 is good. It's worth it for a couple of scenes, right? It is. It's worth it for a couple of scenes. I think Vince Vaughn actually really impressed me. And then the 3rd season is just unbelievable. Yeah, I don't think season 2 gets enough love because I think Vince Vaughn and Colin Farrell, oh my gosh, they did a great job. They really, really did. It's more understated. He had some, but much of it was CGI. No, when he's doing the martial arts fighting with Agent Smith, that's not CGI. Yeah, when he's running around and shooting and jumping up walls and flipping, yes, but the martial arts training, I'm pretty sure he had a lot of martial arts training for The Matrix because he's doing hand-to-hand combat that they didn't CGI. He's doing it. Took up martial arts in The Matrix. I'm pretty sure he loved it and does all of his own stunts ever since. Yeah, I'm fairly certain he did most of that stuff in that. That's why it looks so good. Because they speed it up, obviously, and they do some trickery. But man, all the blocks and stuff, it's awesome. It's hard for them coming behind Harrelson and McConaughey in season 1. Yeah, I mean, that was a tour de force. Keanu got great in The Matrix. He's been great in action sequences since then. Rachel McAdams, Vince Vaughn, Colin Farrell, they were just perfect. Yeah. I forgot about Rachel McAdams. I really like her. I do. I wish she was in... She needs to land a super serious role. I feel like she's always it was a pretty serious role in True Detective, but I always feel like she's off to the side. She's not center stage enough. John Wick could have 30 movies and I'd still be excited for the next one. Yeah. He was dope in Man of Tai Chi and in all the Wick movies. Wo Ping was the fight coordinator. It was an epic Chinese in-camera wire work. Oh, in The Matrix? He learned jiu-jitsu and had serious firearms training. He's definitely upgraded in his skills for John Wick. I'm not denying that, but I was I'm pretty sure he knew how to do a lot of that back with The Matrix. I said he had some training, but he didn't really get into it until John Wick. He has videos of him training with pro shooters. I'm talking about the martial arts. I don't think that's true. I think he got into it back in The Matrix. He definitely upped the ante and got into the firearms and stuff for John Wick. But the martial arts aspect was there. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm fairly confident he and Carrie-Anne Moss went through pretty extensive training for The Matrix. Because they laughed about how you can see Carrie-Anne Moss, she verbalizes her hits. She shouts because she did that in the training. They talked about that in a documentary or something. She's like, yeah, ha, ha. She's actually yelling when she's fighting. And they had to take that out of out of the audio track because it was like distracting. Okay, I'm just gonna get that guy out of here. I think he's come back numerous days and just says weird stuff like that. Richard McAdams is the main character in The Notebook. Yeah, but that's it's The Notebook. Most people don't realize that, but Robert Downey Jr. has been studying Wing Chun Kung Fu for 10 years. Oh, really? Forgot about the Matrix training, my bad. Yeah, it's just the martial arts though. I don't think he did like they probably had to have pretty minor firearms training for Matrix because they're handling a lot of guns. But yeah, the martial arts thing, I remember watching him and Carrie-Anne Moss train. They talked about how rigorous it was. Unlike Ming Na Wen and Michelle Yeoh, who are always screaming their fights, and they leave it all in on purpose. Yeah. Everybody loves Ming though. Like she can do whatever she wants. I feel like watch some video where him and Lawrence Fishburne basically earned a black belt from their Matrix martial art training. Really? RDJ is actually a proficient fighter. He showed off a bit in Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, I didn't think about that. The fights in Sherlock Holmes, he definitely showed he's decent hand-to-hand. We need 8 more likes for 300 likes. We are well off topic, but you guys are still hanging out and chilling. If you just clicked on the video and you're like, why are they talking about Marvel and Matrix and Keanu Reeves? We're talking Star Wars, which means we end up talking Disney, which means we end up talking Marvel, but the main subject is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We can only talk about the leaks and the potential Jedi Survivor release date. It's essentially Jedi Fallen Order 2. If you've not played If you've not played Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, you need to check it out. It's a great game. The sequel potentially will be here as early as March. Apparently, you may also be able to use a blaster in the game, according to recent leaks. There was a toy at a Comic-Con event. What shirt is that? It's a Black Panther shirt. If you use the shirt command, it'll take you to the Black Panther collection over there at 80stees.com. Always remember to use code Lono for 30% off over there. I thought after the Wakanda Forever trailer, I would pull out one of the Black Panther shirts from that from their collection over there. He helped choreograph the fights in Sherlock Holmes, also in Iron Man 2, when he's fighting in the ring and tells Black Widow to get in the ring with him. He's doing a bunch of Wing Chun. Wing Chun's all about using their momentum against them, isn't it? Like foundationally, it's a you stand on your back leg and like your posture is not one of offense but more of defense, and then it's more reactionary combat, I think. I had some guys that I knew that were doing it when we were in like high school, and I think that's like the basic foundational starting point of the combat is that you're using what they do against them, returning it. Hey, 10 minutes ago somebody ordered some Reforge roast, 3 bags of light roast to my man. There's people might not be putting their usernames anymore. Tyler. I'm going to say Tyler. Thank you for 3 bags of light roast. Appreciate that. Guys, the coffee is not a sponsor, by the way. It's ours, Reforge Roast. We got a light roast and a dark roast. If you're curious how we get balanced acidity, which makes the coffee very smooth, no bitterness, we have all the flavor profiles on the website. Creature says they aren't. Okay. I'm changing how it's done now. Don't make them do a username. I mean, you do whatever you feel is necessary, but like if people don't want to put a username, that's fine. Yeah, the guy that did the Wick movies is doing Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Wing Chun's a square stance, and you're always doing 2 things at once, if I remember correctly. It was Bruce Lee's original martial art foundation. You're thinking Tai Chi? No, I don't think it's Tai Chi. I think it's Wing Chun. Tai Chi is more up, right? Up and down. It's a Southern Chinese Kung Fu style and a form of self-defense which requires quick arm movements and strong legs to defeat opponents. Softness and performance of techniques is a relaxed manner. It's fundamental to Wing Chun. That's what I'm talking about. It's passive, like it's defensive. You're not like going on the attack, right? It's about deflection and returning momentum. I'm not saying that's all, but I think that's like the foundation. I saved for later a 20-minute video on how the grass was generated in Ghost of Tsushima. Tai Chi's more about movement. Wing Chun's more about defense. That's what I was saying. Yeah, it's more about defense. Like you're more in a passive stance using their own attacks against them. Here's a WikiHow. Learn the center line theory. A foundation of Wing Chun is the protection of your body's center line. Imagine a line that starts in the middle from the top of your head and it travels down to the middle of your chest into lower body. It must be protected at all times. Be wise and economical with energy. A key Wing Chun practice is that during fighting, energy should be used conservatively and economically. Use your opponent's energy by deflecting or redirecting blows. See, I was right. This is exactly what I was saying. Stay relaxed. Yeah. It's relaxed. It's passive. Yeah. This is what I had a friend that was doing it, and he said this was like the foundation of the stance and the fighting style. Using your opponent's momentum against them is Steven Seagal, and it's obviously the greatest martial art. IP Man. What is that? Great movie. Came out in 2008. So Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber form. Oh, I like that. I like that. That's good. That's good. I was about to put in a leave request at work so I could go see Wakanda Forever on opening day, but then I realized it's Veterans Day. I already have it off. Nice. No. Oh, it's not IP, man? Is it... What, am I supposed to say IP? Like yip, but without the Y. Oh. Well, I mean, I just saw it put in there. I didn't know. Looks like IP Man. IP Man. Yo, it's good, Robert. It's about a Wing Chun master. If you've never seen IP Man, you're dead to me. I did not grow up big on Kung Fu movies. I had friends that absolutely loved them, but not me. Yeah. Not me. It just wasn't my jam, man. Go watch it. It's good. IP as a word, not two letters. Thank you. Yeah. The stuff Seagal does is for show. Please don't ever try any of that crap in a fight. Not only will you get your butt beat, you'll add to the embarrassment. Everybody Wang Chun tonight. I think you spelled that wrong, Snow. What's good, Snow? Start watching it, man. Yo, an 18-month milestone. Thank you, Behemoth, for renewing, and it's a tier 2. Hey, Lono, your streams were immensely amazing during my recovery from 2 surgeries the last 10 days. Well, I hope you're doing okay. Thanks for watching. Thanks for renewing your membership. Thanks for supporting the channel. Listen, if you guys have never done a membership on a channel before, please consider doing it. It is how we support the channel. We're not a large channel, and we don't run advertisements unless I literally leave the room. So consider clicking the blue join button or gifting some members. It's $5 a month to become a member. We do members-only content at the end of every day as well on Friday nights. According to Grub, the Black Panther game is very early, and it's looking like it's EA-published big open-world Black Panther game where you, the player, step into the mantle of Black Panther, and this is your journey. EA was pleased with Jedi Fallen Order and excited for Jedi Survivor, and they want this game to follow in the same vein and not a game-as-service model. But EA as a whole is doing a bigger balance. It's being led by former Monolith Studios dev. Okay. So it sounds like the Black Panther game is going to be good. It's going to be in the vein of like Jedi Fallen Order. If you guys have not played Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, you need to. Because Star Wars Jedi Survivor is basically just Jedi Fallen Order 2. And the leaks are pointing to a potential March release date as well as being able to use a blaster. Our second show today is about Hogwarts Legacy. There wasn't much going on, but I did find what I felt like were pretty good stories about these two titles, and we're obviously excited about both. Open world EA game sounds good. Well, maybe, I don't know. Have they done a really good open world game, or are they putting, or are we gonna say that the quasi open worldness of Jedi Fallen Order? According to Grub, a lot more Marvel games are in development. I wouldn't be surprised if they're gonna start tapping some of these studios that know what they're doing and trying to turn the ship, because Marvel's Avengers is a big blemish on the franchise, the video game Avengers. Yo, what's good, Gerwin? True story, my mother actually was trained by Ip Man's son with guys who trained with Bruce Lee, and she met Ip before he passed in 72. With more IPs are handled out to more developers. Okay. All right, I'm getting some info on what's going on with the Black Panther game. And we did get some new subscribers today, so thank you so much for that. We appreciate that so much. Didn't EA make Anthem? Well, BioWare made Anthem. You know what's funny? Anthem actually was a really good open world game. It just didn't have an end game. The open world in Anthem was actually fantastic. The multiple biomes, the different settings. I actually thought Anthem was a really good open world game. It just wasn't a good game as a whole. Why does Jedi Survivor sound so awkward as a name? Because it is awkward. We had a user... Did we have a blip? We had a user come up with a better name. We did. Nobody else is saying blip. Somebody came up with Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Hidden Order, and Jedi New Order. And I was like, that is so good. I didn't want to derail it. Oh, you're fine. Someone keeping secrets? Yeah. We're well off the train tracks anyway. Fallen Order is a Metroidvania, in my opinion. It is. It's not an open world game for sure. It's all of the worlds are very contained. They're very contained maps. BioWare also made all 3 Mass Effects and both Star Wars KOTOR games, so it's not like Anthem is entirely indicative of their track record. When you compare open world to Fallen Order is linear. Yeah. I wasn't trying to say it was open world. That we were crisscrossing points. They were saying that they were so happy with Fallen Order that they want more games coming out for Marvel at that level of quality. Train is so far off the tracks and starting a new life as a tugboat. That's right. Wait, you said that the other day. Come on, Zubair. I'm praying they bring back Anthem 2.0 sometime. I know BioWare even said they're keeping it up for possible use. I don't know. They'd have brand recognition, but I don't know how much else they'd have. You know what I mean? Pretty sure you've used that line before. I'm not a fan of the recycling. Vanessa got married. Just wanted you to know. Don't have to read it out loud. Did she tweet it? Has it been tweeted? I mean, her and I are friends. We haven't touched base in a long time. Oh yeah, video. We got hit. Her and Saul. Doing a waifu stream at 11. Well, good for them. I like them. I actually am. I've already recorded 2 episodes of my new podcast that I'm launching with Andrew Schwab, and we were looking to probably have her on as a guest for when we start wanting to pull on guests. So it should be good. I think you guys are really going to like it. We won't be able to launch it for a teeny little bit more because I'm going to be out of town this weekend. It won't affect shows, but I'll be out of town this weekend, so we won't be able to record another one. Waifu games when? Right. Why does that name sound familiar? Oh, Vanessa's Gothics and Saul. It's Saul or it's Saul. I did an episode with him on Reforge Radio about comic books. If you guys saw that. He was really dope dude. We had a fun conversation. A Black Panther game with loot boxes. Never played Anthem, barely heard of it. Must have been living under a rock. Anthem came out almost exactly the same time as The Division 2, if you remember that. You meant Andrew Schwab? Andrew Schwab is the lead singer for a band, Project 86. they were growing hugely in popularity in the late 90s, and they kind of got bumped off the roster by Atlantic Records, and Atlantic Records backed POD instead. I think Project would have been more popular than POD because they were hitting the right. I think they were hitting the right style at the time, but sadly, they kind of got sabotaged by the label and got sabotaged by other bands and stuff. So they still have a lot of albums, and they still have good popularity, just not the level that they probably were going to hit if all that crap wouldn't happen. Their album Truthless Heroes was the one they did with Atlantic, and then they did my favorite album, which is Songs to Burn Your Bridges By. Then Tooth and Nail picked them back up, and they remastered it, added a couple songs. Yeah, he has a podcast called Pioneers. I've been on Pioneers a couple of times, and then I had him on Reforge Radio when we were doing serious content, and then we decided that we should do a podcast together, and that will be launching soon-ish. That the dead horse has been beaten so much it's starting a new life as a rig boat. Wouldn't that be better though? Is that the dead horse has been beaten so much it's starting its new life as a circus lion or something? Or are you just always gonna do tugboat? You'll always do tugboat. POD blew up and crashed. Yeah, POD didn't have the substance to keep going. I think Project had the substance to keep going. Project had a better front man. I think they had better music. I think their albums were more consistent. POD's albums were really inconsistent. They'd have like one or two good songs and the rest of the album would be bad. So, I wish a concept for a game like Evolve would come back. I really liked you could play as a boss monster and be the one to fight the boss. I just don't think those games ever take off because nobody wants to be the monster or nobody wants to be the humans, and it just turns into a frickin', I don't know, cat and mouse. It's too cat and mouse. I feel like the games end up feeling like super, super flat tire. They end up feeling really, really flat tire. It's like the same thing over and over and over again, and sadly, I don't know if a game will ever come out when people will care. Because it just, I feel like they just get into a rut. Evolve got into a rut. I remember playing it and being like, this is just not very fun. This is just not fun. It's super repetitive. I don't know. It ends up feeling real meat grinder. It just feels really meat grinder. Like you're kind of constantly doing the same thing over and over and over again. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you do it without that happening. Wait, where did I save that? Oh, I see it. I was like, where is the game? Legacy. Okay, we should probably make a Hogwarts Legacy news playlist because the news will probably start increasing soon. Maybe. That's something that I'm actually thinking and kind of concerned about. I keep telling you guys I think it's going to be delayed, and I'm not the only one now. We're definitely dealing with some more theories swirling about that. Some rumors that like, this window of time's too short. You know, is this thing really going to be able to hit in December? It's a concern. So, let's see. All right, I got that set up. We're not doing that yet. I'm going to run some ads. I'll be right back. We don't like running ads. I only do it when I step away to use the restroom. Do me a favor. Become a member. If you're not a member, hit like, give some members, buy some coffee, do the things. It supports me and the channel. Hit that blue button. Let's get some member trains going. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, I'm back. Whew. Gamers optimize the fun out of games. Either humans, monsters, non-optimal. I'm down for short windows, but I don't think Hogwarts will be one. Dan's attack. Did you write a spoiler warning after that spoiler? I think you may be confused with how warnings work. Big spoiler. Ladies and gentlemen, please be advised. The plane has crashed. You should have assumed crash positions. Sorry for the late notice. Hogwarts is releasing in December? I don't think so, yeah. That's what we're going to be talking about. Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about. I don't think so. I really, really, truly don't. For the most part, holiday pre-spring full and release, then you can't have more attention for your game. Have you seen any other game YouTube's covering The Last of Us remake? I sent a link to Yong's vid in general chat. His vid comments were heavily against it. Yeah, Yong wasn't too impressed either. He was being pretty critical. I don't think he was being overly critical, but he was being critical. Yeah. I went back and listened to it, and what blew my mind with that conversation was how strongly people would state things, and then when we would go and put their statements to the test, their statements would fall apart. Like the guy that was like, "Oh, I work in game dev. I'm a texture whatever guy," and the first thing he said in chat was so authoritative and so strong. He's like, I am clearly seeing evidence of and we went and looked at everything, and by the end of the video, it's like everything he said was in tatters. It was like, you've not said anything that's true. Like, you're not saying anything that's true. Like, that's what drove me crazy about it. It absolutely drove me crazy. It was like, I don't understand why, like, I don't know. Near the end of the video, I just kept beating on that. I was like, listen, I am not trying to convince you it's worth it, but a lot of you are quite literally just saying things that aren't true. Like, at least you can just say, I don't think it looks good enough for 70. I just played the remaster recently. I don't really feel like replaying it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But the dishonesty was just insane. It was insane to me. Why do you care so much? If you don't think it's worth it, okay. Don't need to lie to make that point. That's exactly right, Eugene. It's so bizarre. Demon Souls remake is actually a remaster. Yeah, we got all the way down that. We got that deep in the dum-dum. Down in the dum-dum muck, right? Every once in a while, we have to go down and get into the dum-dum muck. And it's like, we got so deep into the dum-dum, I was like, what the frick are we even saying? What are we even saying? Can't tell you the number of times I saw people who didn't even know who the trans character was. Oh, with Last of Us 2? Yeah. Talking about the remaster again? Yeah, just annoying. Opinions don't need to be treated like fact. If you don't like it, it's okay. Right, like, it's totally fine for somebody to come in and tell me, I'm not impressed, I'm not spending the 70. 70 is a steep ask for a remake. I'm not doing it. I don't care. Why do I care if that's your opinion? That'd be like somebody saying, I know the new Top Gun movie's amazing. I don't think it's worth it to go to the theaters, right? That's not the same as saying it's basically the same movie as the one that released in the 80s. Anybody that's seen the new movie would lose their dadgum minds. They'd be like, what the frick are you talking about? Do you see the difference? One person's like, I don't really feel like seeing Top Gun in the theaters. I just don't think it's worth it to go to the theaters. It's just too expensive. The other person is trying to substantiate their opinion on not seeing Top Gun in the theaters by saying something that's not true. It's basically the same movie. Like, that's the level that we were dealing with. I was like, you're just not saying things that are true. Yo, what's good, Rambo-sama? People outright ignored the dev video. You should react to one of them. I was thinking about it. Creature didn't want to, but I want to. I want to try to find a video. I want to try to find a really good video of somebody who's not going to strike the video because they get grumpy. Because I'll get the freaking hedge trimmers out. So many takes in chat that day were just insane to me. And it wouldn't surprise me if a bunch of YouTubers are clickbaiting it and getting tons of clicks. I know they are, because I was getting a ton of comments, and I almost never get that many comments on a VOD. That was like a traditional upload. I was like, my gosh, that's all I'm doing is getting comments on this video. And my like ratio was fine. That's what made me feel good. I was like, okay, we're actually holding a good like ratio. Almost a 90% like ratio on my video on it. Looked like a Nintendo 64 game to me. People complaining about the 70, and here I am with the $100 edition and pre-order. I actually would have had more respect if people just zeroed in on the $70 and been like, it seems a little ambitious to think your game is worth 70. I would have been more open to hearing that. I would have, right? The Top Gun writers were like, how do we take the Death Star trench run and make it crazier? Honestly, I just stay away from The Last of Us in general. It's not even worth the headache or dealing with the haters and the fanboys. Let's just jump headfirst into a pool of weirdos again. Bad engagement. Disagree. We got good engagement that day. We got subs. We got a great like ratio. No, I disagree. I don't think we got bad engagement at all. You guys have to remember, there was like 5 people pushing that narrative, and we only had to ban 2 people. Average view duration on that stream was almost 13 minutes. It was almost 13 minutes. And when we got about 20 minutes on Assassin's Creed, average view duration, and then the Reforge Roundtable will probably have much better. 24 minutes, yeah, because it's a shorter podcast. So I thought the engagement was totally fine. Like when we covered No Man's Sky and Spider-Man, we only got 12 minutes average engagement, so it was weaker on engagement than when we did The Last of Us. And that's Spider-Man PC features. That was like a super positive, exciting stream about freaking Spider-Man, and it got lower engagement average. It didn't do as well with the per minute engagement or whatever. Bunch of weirdos who just want to be mad for the sake of being mad and try to turn anything into a chance to virtue signal. Yo, what's good, Detective Seeds? Welcome back. Thanks for renewing your membership. Last of Us never grabbed my attention. Didn't find it interesting. I don't. That's crazy to me. It was like a generation-defining game for the PlayStation. If we're basing it on engagement numbers, screw it. Let's boot up Witch Queen then. I don't understand why you typed that. I don't know why my membership keeps dropping off. I have it set up to do monthly. It should. Is it just letting you celebrate it? I think The Last of Us gives us an opportunity to showcase what we do. I guarantee you, we got subs that day that will come back because they liked how I handled people. I had comments that were like, I like how you handle these subjects. I like how you're objective. I like how you, like, I had people saying they liked how it went because they enjoy that. Like, that's what we want. We want people to see. That's all we do. I mean, you want to talk about weirdos. Anytime we've done a Halo stream, you're convinced that, Halo fans are weirdos. They come out. We have our knockdown, drag-out fights. We have our debates, and we get subs from it. I think there's a market for smacking the crap down. I do, too. That's honestly who we want at the end of the day. We want somebody who's going to watch that sideshow nonsense and be like, I like this. This guy does not put up with the low-hanging, easy clickism crap on the internet. He smacks it down. I'm not saying we do that every day, but I'm thinking we could easily find a good Last of Us remake video to react to. I'm not going to do a series on the game, but I'm thinking we could at least do one. One video ain't going to do anything to us. But I guarantee you we'd meet people that'd be like, I dig this. You know what I mean? You roll how you roll. In my opinion, it's bad money. I think Friday literally proves you wrong with empirical evidence. We have a video that generated subs, right? We had a video that generated subs and positive comments from people that I didn't recognize. And we had, what, 3 or 4 dum-dums in chat? There was only 3 or 4 people being that way. A couple of them are still here. A couple of them are regulars, and they were just being dum-dums. They were just saying dumb stuff. They were here today. There were people who were being kind of dumb that day, and they were here today talking in chat. We only had to bop 2 people. You're going to say that the guy that knows YouTube in and out is wrong? Shut the frick up, Butters. Don't pull that card with me. Keep touching that game. I love saying I told you so. You know this. Well, now you're putting words in my mouth. 60 seconds ago I said we could do one video on it. We could do one video on it. Let's find somebody who made a video that was negative and let's shred it. Let's just shred it. Like I just said like 30 seconds ago, 60 seconds ago, I'm not going to do a bunch of videos on it. I'm not going to do a series on it. Keep touching that game. Let's do one more video on it. You know what I mean? I'm serious. I'm serious. I think that what we do when those type of topics come up, I think it's super important. I really do. I think it's super important. That doesn't mean that every week I'm going to do a Last of Us roasting session, but I think it's super important. I think we earned a bunch of fans that day. I do. We had 2 people unsub on the VOD, and I think we got about 20 people that subbed during the live stream, right? It's hard to see if we've actually gained subs on the VOD, because we could have lost 5 and gained 3, so it shows a net of 2 lost or whatever. I can't see that, but the amount of comments I got from people that I didn't recognize that were like enjoying what I was saying, and the fact that it's holding like an 88% like ratio, I think that stream was a win. I think that stream was a win. And I think if we do that, not with that game in particular, if we take opportunities to do that with regularity, like when that crap happens and people are being nasty and negative and we decide to get out the bat, I think that's content gold. That's what we do. That's what I do. I think people come in and see that and they think, this is exactly right. I'm sick of the negativity and the cynicism and the false narratives and the whiny entitled gamers. I'm sick of it, and this guy smacks them around. I think people like that. Didn't say it was a loss, saying that the game's a lightning rod for everything we do not want. I don't agree. I think it's a lightning rod that you hold up very infrequently and does give you what you want. It does. I continue to believe that in a stream like that, and in the grand picture narrative of gaming in general, I think the people that were in my chat being sharply negative, critical, and cynical, I think they're in the minority, and I think smacking them around for a couple hours is good entertainment. It was very engaging. I actually paused multiple times at work to contribute to the discussions. Yeah, I think every once in a while you got to grab those lightning rods. Can you just drop the occasional strategically placed F-bomb? No. I don't want to upset the worker lurkers that like the safe for work. I think on Friday the main thing I would have pushed back on is the injection of the Xbox stuff. I didn't see anyone bring that up in chat. I did that one time and never did it again. I did that one time for a joke and a meme. I zoomed in and made out with an Xbox controller, and I never did it again. And it was funny, and I said that's what you sound like. I said you sound like somebody who's got a fanboy angle, and then I left it behind, and that was never a part of the discussion again. We talked for close to 3 hours, and that was a 2-minute blip in the conversation. I think with the mods you have here, you can easily avoid the convo going in that direction. Like I said, I'm not doing that once a week. Just like every once in a while, Creature will be like, do you want to kick Halo while it's down? And I'm like, Like, we infrequently decide to drag Halo into the light and give another punch in the face. Because why? Because the Halo fans will come in and try to act like that I'm being harsh or I'm a Sony fanboy, right? And we don't like that, but I think it's good content, but we do it infrequently, right? Like, I'm not smacking on Halo every Tuesday at reset. Like, here's your weekly reset of Halo. Game still sucks, right? Like, we're not into that kind of content, you know. But if between now and when The Last of Us remake launches, if I do one reaction vid and then let's say there's something that happens with the game release or gameplay and I cover it one more time. So if we talk about that game 2 more times before it launches, I think that's totally fair. I'm not talking about like once every other week or once a week talking about that dadgum game, because it is bizarre the way people come out of the woodwork to hate on it. It is strange. It was great. So many people making arguments that obviously had no clue about the hardware and the real world limitations. Most workers like myself have you in earbuds anyway. Yeah, but Tony, I think that's a social contract. It's a contract of trust that, like, this guy's not going to be dropping F-bombs. Halo weird and Last of Us weird are totally different kinds of weird is what I'm saying. Right, but it's the same idea that we don't necessarily want to attract those crowds with regularity. But I do think periodically it's really good to go up on the mountainside and put that lightning rod in the sky and go and be like, wow, that was a little, that was spicy. And I think we gain fans from it. I do. I think we gain fans from it. I'm not saying that that's something we would do with like I said, if we do 2 videos on it, that's probably about the most you'll hear me talk about that game before it comes out. And when we play it, we'll check it out. We'll see, we'll see what it's like, and then that'll be that. That'll be that. I think that that's worth doing. I think it would be incredibly weird, and this is the optics I take on it. I think it'd be incredibly weird to have that spicy stream and then to be like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. It gets too weird, like I'm scared or something. Like, I think one reaction piece of content on it, and then maybe one more video if anything significant happens, like gameplay or something. Maybe they release an extensive gameplay video, or I don't know, something. State of play, who knows? I think that's fair. I think it's fair for us to be like, listen, we're not avoiding this subject just because a couple of weirdos show up, right? Like, we're like scared to, this guy won't even look at these other people's videos. He thinks he's right. Well, no, who do you think made the best video? And I'll watch it. Somebody said Maddie plays it a vid. Yeah, guys, we did. We moved the Reforge roundtable to 2. It'll be a little bit earlier on Fridays, just because it helps us with not having to do too many. If we have to do too many shows before the roundtable, it just isn't good. The Last of Us is crazy weird. I saw 2 bans from 2 people arguing with you that day. It's been a while since I've seen arguing bans. They weren't arguing. No. Framing it that way is irritating. Don't do that. They were not arguing. The 2 guys that got banned, I had to approve their messages just so I could read them out loud because they were swearing and saying nasty things to me. The one guy had 3 messages in a row that had to be approved by mods because he was just hurling insults at me and he was using foul language to do it. He wasn't arguing with me. For frick's sake, his messages had to be approved. His messages had to be approved. He wasn't having a dialogue with me. I don't ever ban people arguing with me. They're worth their weight in gold. I was going back and forth with Cred and with David and with Garrett and with Frostbite. Yeah, they're worth their weight in gold. If you're going to step in the ring and you're going to go, you want to go, let's go. All those people we banned, I was literally approving their message, reading it out loud and being like, I have to ban you. This is like the 3rd time you've done this. That's how bad their messages were. We had to approve them. Okay, this is what they'll look like now if they fill out the field. Oh, that's perfect, Creature. If you guys order coffee now and you fill out the username field, it'll put it right at the top of the email for me. That's beautiful. That'll make it really easy for me to call that out. Who wants to be the first test drive Reforge roast order? We've already got 2 orders for the day. No, David Billups did not get banned. He was here today. And he danced on the line. He danced on the line. He said I was having a meltdown. I'm like, okay, that was a passive swipe. You don't need me saying I'm having a meltdown. This is what I do. This is the kind of content I make. I get ramped up, right? I spin all the way up to level 10. You know. It's too bad that I don't drink coffee. I prefer a good tea. That's just me. If only that slacker Demins would get coffee alerts working. Are you guys close to figuring that out, Demins? Because we don't run alerts. We need to find a new company to run alerts through. Because Streamlabs, I broke their connection with my channel. They were like editing my videos. They edited the description of one of my videos, 2 of my videos, after I wasn't live. And it was like, use this link to donate via Streamlabs. I'm like, excuse me? What are you doing? We have our descriptions very intentionally written, and you're not going to come in here and disrupt that. That disrupts search algorithms and SEO. What in the frick? I immediately broke connection with them. So, I know there's websites that offer alerts with YouTube. I don't want to use them. That company. They're also the company like copied Lightstream's website or whatever they did the one time. It's not Demin's fault. We had to stop. Yeah, because we rebuilt the entire web presence. That makes sense. Hackles Raised Lono is my favorite. Write down Last of Us 1 rehash. We'll get complaints after it releases. Probably. Like I was telling Creature, the reason he's being really hard on like, no, we don't want to rely on that game or do anything with that game. There's context. I was like, oh, it'd be really fun to play through The Last of Us remake and then finally play through The Last of Us 2. He was like, we don't want to do that. He's like, that game attracts the weirdest nonsense I've ever seen. I was like, okay. So that's why he's saying what he's saying. Like, we can't do much with that game because it's just going to turn into a circus show. After the changes, I can take another stab at it. Just not ideal to work with right now. Sure. Sell some tea also for the non-coffee drinkers. I don't have any way of getting into the tea market. Excuse me, have you been watching those singing movies? No, I've said excuse me for a while since that video went viral of that lady being like, excuse me, I throat punch her. Excuse me, I throat punch her. I didn't hear you say the one-time thing. I was talking on the Samsung growth in my head. Yeah, I was like, let's take somebody's vid and do a reaction, and then, like, that's it. We'll play it when it comes out just to showcase it for an afternoon. You know what I mean? Speaking of other games, I jumped into Star Citizen this weekend. No regrets. Super fun so far. It was an interesting stream to be modded in the middle of. Yeah, Quiet. You did fine. We have basically taken a very hands-off approach, Quiet, to modding. I kind of, like, let people do their thing, and if they got to really cross the line to get banned. I used to be a lot more strict. Like, the old mods come in, and I actually think Demins and Valiant are some of the only really old mods that will periodically poke their head in. They probably would have to adjust their line and back it up a little bit. I'm a lot more hands-off. I kind of, like, let people be douchey. And as long as they're not attacking me directly or chat directly, I just kind of let them be a douche. Because I think sometimes it gives me an opportunity I can play with my food for a little bit. I can smack them around a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah, chat shuts them down. We're a lot more hands-off with modding than we used to be. I started watching other YouTubers. I remember watching Gothix, and I noticed that she was letting people just kind of go wild, and as long as they weren't, flat out attacking people, they weren't banning them. 11 months from Mithrax. Thanks for almost a whole year of Milestone. I think I'm at the 10-month milestone according to the color of my joystick. No. It's 11-month milestone. Thank you, Mythrex, for renewing. What do you like about Abby? I've not played the second game, so I couldn't tell you. Old boundaries aren't the same as they used to be, so some older mods may still not be used to that. They're not around much anyways. Yeah, that line started to shift when I was a mod. Yeah, I started to be like, just let them go. If they're being directly disruptive, attacking, nasty, then yeah, bop them. But when someone's doing that, like the difference between someone who like lacks self-awareness and is being kind of douchey and somebody who comes in and wants to cause problems, I think they're easy. It's super easy to spot the difference. The people that want to come in and start problems, man, they just keep going. They'll just start swinging at people in chat. They'll start swinging at me. And it's like, yeah, you're not here to have a conversation. Get the frick out. Get out of here. I think the line shifting's been good for the content and discourse. I agree. I agree with that. I think it's different than it used to be, but I do think it's better. It's better. When you're not covering, when you're covering more than one game, you just have to have this natural feeling of openness. Like it has to feel more open. Like, oh, I can come here and say or disagree or debate or be a little sharpen my criticisms, and I'm not going to get smacked. When you're only covering one game, this might be a psychological analysis of how that game community managers, streamers have turned into like such just awful chambers of toxicity, like toxic positivity. When you're covering one game, I think you can insulate, and you're a lot safer to insulate and be kind of mean and be kind of like, oh, I didn't like the way you said that. You're out of here. Gone. Like, right? When you're only covering one game, I think you have that luxury. You don't have that luxury when you're covering lots and lots of different games. Because the FromSoft boys are going to come in and be a certain way. And people that come in that like PlayStation, people that come in that like MMOs, people that come in that like top-downs, people that come in that like, Xbox. They're all going to have a different way of looking at things. And if it seems like we're not a very like tolerant, forum, you know what I mean? Tolerance gets thrown around and misused a lot these days. But like, if it doesn't feel like a very open and tolerant forum, then no one's going to want to say anything. I'm like, these guys are just, when it's like, so when people say we're an echo chamber, I'm like, you've clearly never watched a stream. The lion's share of the content is people disagreeing with me for hours, to the point that sometimes the core audience gets annoyed. They're like, you just disagreed with someone for 45 minutes who's just an obvious idiot troll. But, you know what I mean? So sometimes I can disagree to a fault, but it's like, it's clearly not an echo chamber if that's the content that's happening. You know what I mean? I'm blocking anybody fading on Final Fantasy VII. Plus, the guys who continue to go over the line and are on the fast track to a ban make for good, quick content and chat interaction. Chat likes to see the doe-eyed dum-dum get the bob. That's right. Wonder if anyone has bought coffee lately? What do you mean? Did you buy some, Sven? Yo, 2 orders. Let's go. This person didn't put a name in. You received the following order from Steven, and no, it didn't work, creature. Because that's Talika, but Talika's, yeah, it didn't, something's not working right. Thank you, Talika, and I don't know, whoever this other person is. You've been shortlisted by a publisher since you covered a similar game. This means if you make a request, you might get it. What game is this? Free to play, in-game early access, Steam, card game multiplayer strategy RPG? No, I don't play those types of games. I don't know what game you thought I played that's similar to a card game. I don't even do first looks on card games. Oh, you've not turned it on yet. You literally just drew it. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. So thank you. Okay, let me thank the people for what they actually ordered. The first person ordered a bag of light roast. Thank you very much. That's actually somebody. Oh, I think, okay. And then Talika did a... Oh, I see. Talika did the best of both worlds bundle. She got a light roast and a dark roast. Thanks for doing that, Talika. Display name D's Nuts. Oh, you did D's Nuts? Is it down in your... Oh my gosh. That might print on your actual label with the post office, you dingbat. Yeah, it is. It's down there. D's Nuts, Sven. Listen, bro. If your label is probably going to have that on there, bro. They're going to be like, well, golly. Oh my. Whoever sent this is a little rude. Leave it. Yeah, just totally leave it. Leaving it. Yeah, it's perfect. Tried to troll the order form. Yeah, well, your label's going to have these nuts on it. Imagine a bag of beans labeled these nuts. Do you guys remember? What was that? What was the company that I promoted their... They were like instead of it being beef jerky, they were like pieces of beef jerky, and it had like something in the name, something nuts. Was it D's Nuts? I think that was the name of the company. Was it Ditz Nuts? Deets. It was Deets. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, Smashville just missed a letter. He had it. Yeah, you were off by a letter. Deets Nuts. Yep. Yeah, we did a bounty board. That was fun when the bounty board started sending us stuff. Like, we had the gummy worms they sent, and then the Deets Nuts. They sent me those. You just had to, like, mention it or, like, eat it on stream or whatever. Yeah. That was funny. I'm surprised they didn't lean into that more. Like, they're leaning into the whole, like, paying streamers to run ads. I don't know. The bounty board one seemed like easy money, but the ratio that they got from those might have been too low or something. Do you know what I mean? Because the paying people to run ads thing's not going very well. Loco, she does a lot of commentary on streaming. She was like, the number of hours I have to stream just to get this is absurd. And I'm like... Yeah, because they're not just going to pay you money to run ads. They're already paying money on the ad revenue. They're paying you more to run it. Well, they're only going to do that if they can recoup their costs on you streaming a bunch. EA's doing Black Panther and another Marvel game. Grub just confirmed. According to Grub, the title's in early development. A new Seattle studio founded by former Monolith Productions VP and studio head Kevin Stevens is working on the project, or likely working on the project. So many opportunities to troll people. Yeah. As a safer work broadcaster, it was a little awkward to be promoting a company called Deets Nuts. It was a little awkward. It was fine, though. It was fine. I liked the gummy worms were actually really, really good. They were actually dope. I liked them. All right, let me get a tweet sent out for our next story. Next topic. This woman claims she can create a force field around her. That video will never get old. That chick on the beach. She claims she can create a force field around her. Man. Fun fan, only fan shows for money. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Streamer drama is funny to me. Okay, where's my image? I saved it. Oh, there it is. She gets leveled. Yeah, she gets absolutely flattened. Like, she's lucky she didn't get extremely hurt. Just like standing there with your eyes closed, like somebody running like right into you. Oh, and thank you guys for all of the air fryer ideas. My wife got this crazy deal from Target. Like, they have to price match their website, and this air fryer was like normally $200 and it was marked down to $100, and so they price matched it, and then the receipt gave her a $100 gift card for buying it, so we basically got it for free. Air fryer Brussels sprouts are goated. We actually really like them. Let's take a look at the latest Hogwarts. Yeah. Some kind of a Target bank error. Cute air fryer. I don't think it's cute. No, I think it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. Did I feature this vid? I did. Okay. Okay, we got that going. How big is it? I don't know. Their appliance on my kitchen counter. I don't. It's hard to like give you an estimation on how big it is. I would say it's like putting a small microwave on your counter. It's not particularly small. It's pretty good size. So, if you picture like a medium-sized microwave, like put it on your counter. That's pretty much how big they are. You know what I mean? You know what I did last night that was so good? I literally took corn tortillas, you would just use for tacos, and I cut them into fourths and then one more time, threw them in there, and I had nice, basically zero salt corn tortilla chips. So good. Like, if you're trying to keep your salt count down, like, that's really easy, because like corn tortillas have like none. They also tend to fall apart when you try to use them for tacos. You got to kind of heat them up to get them to be a little bit more pliable. But I just made them into chips. Mozzarella sticks are going to be so good. I know. My wife got some big white onions. She wants to do a bloomin' onion. So we're excited. We're pumped. It was a good deal. She got a good deal. We don't typically get stuff like that for ourselves these days. We're just not, we're not really in a position to do it. And, there's these really cool, it's a company called like Neuroscience, and it's like a bracelet that you wear. And like you can do like vibration patterns for like focus and calm and all this stuff. And the reviews seem to be very good. But it's just like, I can't buy something like that for myself right now. You know what I mean? So when she found this deal, I was really excited for her because I knew she wanted an air fryer, It's just tough. It's like, we're still in that spot where we're like, yeah, we got to be, we can't be indulgent, Like, when we first got the house, I was going to be super indulgent and be like, oh, man, let's just get this and that and this, that, and the third and the other. We just can't right now. So, I was pumped for it. I was like, oh, man, you basically got it for free. Wouldn't produce enough food for all of them. It is, yeah, you can't make a ton of stuff, Demins. So you'd have to use it for, like, very specific things. You know what I mean? Bragg's amino acids, a great sub for soy sauce if you're watching your salt. I'll have to look into that because I love soy. Like, my wife makes a good lo mein, but it's probably very salty because she used, like, sriracha and everything. It's very good. Yeah, you have to do things in batches instead of doing, like, one tray in the oven. Yeah. That's the challenge. It's not designed... Yeah, Demins has a big family. Yeah, and 2 of them are teenagers. Like, give me a freaking break. Like, they're going to eat one tray of whatever you make. Yeah, and it doesn't heat up the kitchen. That too. So, all right, we need to shift over. I'm going to give you guys a link just in case redirect doesn't work. They're basically like mini convection ovens for the most part, yes. But then they go beyond convection baking and they do air frying. Hogwarts Legacy release date is still in doubt, and the latest Hogwarts Legacy news is pointing at a potential delay. People are worried. There are rumors swirling about a delay. It's currently slated for December of 2022. We're going to take a look at the rumors. We're also going to take a look at some of the leaks that have come out about different things because of the collector's edition and ways that you may be able to play the game early. And if you want that information, I put all of the goods right here at the beginning of the video so you don't have to go searching for it. This was a live stream. If you're catching this after I'm live, make sure you hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss out. I'm going to end the previous stream. We talked about Jedi Survivor, the game, and its leaks and things coming out. So that is another VOD.